done and dusted. You went, Dan. I was there too, but...
Saw you. Took a photo of you.
Well, talking about saw you. Plenty of people saw you, mate. You're a big celebrity now, aren't you?
No.
Big time celebrity.
I'm not a celebrity. I did get noticed once when I was buying 4 beers. Just, you got to fill the tray up, make it worth your while because you don't want to line up 4 times.
Oh, absolutely. It's a strong move.
Yes. Got a photo of someone that said they're going to send it through to you. Not sure if that's come to you yet, but they might.
Oh, so you did a fan photo?
Yeah.
Dan from BackChat?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Does that feel good?
I love it. It's anytime someone comes up to say hi, I love it.
I had a photo sent to me of you. Someone in the crowd said Dan Const spotted in the crowd, a zoomed in version of your face.
I was definitely just reading Twitter or something on my phone. It wasn't a great shot, but...
Did anyone send a photo of me working on national television to you saying Will Schofield, host of BackChat, spotted?
Last
week...
How
many times did that happen to you?
Last 0. week that happened.
But none this week?
None this
week.
week.
I had one of you.
Yeah.
So you're the famous one.
Yeah, probably. Actually, someone came up to me at Beatty Park last week as well during swimming lessons and said, "Hey, love BackChat." So
that is great content. You're swimming lessons with your kid and you're getting recognised as the host of BackChat.
Yep.
I just love every bit about that.
And no one came up to me at the game. I posted like, "I'm here. Come get your Philadelphia fish money." And no, you know what?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I put it up on BackChat. Said, "I'm here. Come get your Philadelphia fish money." And you know what? No one came up to me, which means everyone is completely satisfied with their fillet of fish.
Right. So the deal is, and it's a long term. This is no ending.
Yep, in perpetuity, I believe it is.
Good for one fillet of fish. If they come up to you and say,
and genuinely didn't like it,
I
went and bought it under your guise, and then I did enjoy it. I'd like my money back.
Just to finish this off, I actually got contacted on social media. I forgot all about this by someone who worked at McDonald's in their younger years.
Okay.
Was working I probably should read it straight off, but I remember it well enough. Was working the drive-through, just minding their own business. Lo and behold, the Schofield family pulled up to the window, and the message said that he was absolutely disgusted at the fact he had to hand over a double quarter pounder with cheese with an extra fillet of fish in the bag. But then his disgust levels were lowered when he saw me reach into the bag and hand it to my wife.
Oh, great.
Alex, my wife. Not only should have one of the best fantasy teams in the country, but she likes fillet of fishes.
Very good. She's just gone up a notch.
There you go. So on socials, you get a hold of our socials if you're not on there. BackChat __ across Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're on Reddit still. We're still doing some action on Reddit. It's still happening.
Yeah, everything we do, we post up there on Reddit.
Very good. You can find us on YouTube. Getting very, very close to 1,000 subscribers.
Do we talk about why that's how we've sort of helped along recently? What happened?
Yeah, we'll get to that, mate.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Sure.
Hello at backchatpodcast.com.au if you want to send us something so we can...
read it.
Upward inflection was great. Patreon members, as always... You actually help us put this program together, like our sponsors do, but you're the people that actually listen to it. And
the engine room.
Hey, no, I would say Patreon is actually the backline.
Yeah. That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. They're like carrying us.
The sponsors are probably the engine room.
Yeah.
We appreciate their support. We really do. I'm about to get to them. But if they fall over, we're still with our listeners.
Yeah.
And that's the backline.
Yep. To pick up the pieces.
BackChat, backline. Just get it right. Whippersnapper. They're looking after us still. Got this whiskey here. Some of the best in the business. We've got a VIP code still on Patreon. I had a couple of people ask where it was. If you're on Patreon, you need to just have a look at a couple of posts. It's about 5 down, and that's where the code is. If you're not on Patreon and you want to become a patron and you want a discount code for whiskey, that's what you got to do.
It's actually worth paying for the month. Get the discount code because you get cheaper whiskey.
Yeah, if you want a little pro tip, that's what I do. If you want to bowl
sub for a month, get the code and get probably about $30 off a bottle of
There's
whiskey.
no guns to head here. You want to do that? Do that. Fair enough, right?
Yeah.
All right, fantasy. Let's get right off the top here. I'm a bit disgruntled with how we're going here as a podcast.
Yep.
Right? I'll give you a little bit of a league update. Now, we've got a new leader, Nimrod from Junior FC. He's leading the league. He's coming 69th in the country. So I feel like our little fantasy league might have some quality players in it, but that's okay. Lots can happen week to week in fantasy, such as the three other members of this podcast here tonight getting a good team together. What's going on, guys? We need to rally and have a chat about what you're doing with your teams. Dan, you can start. What's happening in fantasy land for you, mate?
I don't know where to start. So
You've slipped down the list from 148th to 150th. You've got worse.
So let me tell you what happened this week.
There's 150. I'm assuming there's 159 people in it because I can see another member of this podcast is that position.
Okay, so this is what happened. I'll be honest with you. So Dustin Martin's still in my team.
Yes.
I went to remove him from my team and swap him out with someone else. I just couldn't figure it out.
So
I just left him in it. So
what do you mean you couldn't figure it out?
Well, the only person I could sub him with was someone in my bench, and I was trying to trade him. I just couldn't figure it out. I was
couldn't
on the
trade
app.
him.
The app wasn't great, to be honest.
The app's great. That's the only thing I operate with.
Really? Okay.
The app's fine.
Maybe I was I don't know, but I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I guess he's just gonna have to stay in.
Okay, we need to get that out of your game. You need to make the changes where applicable.
Maybe can we sit after this episode? Can you sit with me and
I can do.
We'll fix
Just
my
think
team
of it.
a bit.
Think of it. It's a numbers game. You need to have rookies in there to be generating your cash. So at the end of the year, you can have as many premium players in there as possible. The quicker you get to that point, the better your team will be.
Okay.
So having zeros and people that are potentially not ever coming back to the game ever, which is Dustin Martin, that's on the table at the moment.
Yes.
We may never see him again. You need to get him out of your team.
Okay.
Understand?
Yep.
Very good. Next, Charlie.
Yeah. I've not gone down. Haven't gone up either.
Yes.
I've stayed in the same spot. 126.
So you're still bad,
Respectable.
right?
Look, I didn't have any DNPs this week. That's an improvement for me at least.
That is an improvement. It's an improvement on Dan.
Yeah, it is. I didn't have Justin Martin in my team.
Well, what did you do with your rucks this week?
I was making a decision.
Right.
I was trading out. I had Sean Darcy in my ruck. He was injured, obviously, so I traded him out.
I sucked you into that, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
I was never picking him in my fantasy team. Come on, Charlie.
What a rat.
Come on. Get your purple goggles off and just get the quality players in. You need to take away... That's another thing about fantasy. You need to take the supporters' eyes off. You need to just pick the best players, no matter who they play for.
Look, I've only got 2 Freo players in my side now.
It's too many.
Whack. Dan goes whack.
Will Brodie and Luke Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Both acceptable.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
Your
traded
rucks.
out Sean Darcy and I was looking for a new ruck. And I was deciding in between Tom Hickey and Tim English. And for some reason, I thought Tom Hickey would be the pickup. He didn't have a great game.
That is just poor.
Yeah,
And Tim
and
English
Tim
absolutely
English
dominated.
Smashed him.
And he's been dominating all year. I'm not sure how you came to that conclusion, to be really honest.
It was a bit of a poor decision by me.
A couple of beers too many, Charlie, before you update the fantasy teams?
Sunk a few too many on Wednesday night.
I would just like to say, Tim English, future Eagle.
You heard it here first on BackChat.
Yep.
Okay. Oh boy, well, while I'm chatting to Kat here, Charlie, I can just hear this, our fridge, which holds some of our goods over here. It's just making slight buzzing noise. If you could just attend to that, that would be terrific while I talk to Kat. I'm not joking. Thank you. Now, Kat, can you please tell me what is going on with your fantasy team? You're 159th. Out of how many? Is there 159?
It was like one. No, I went
163.
Yeah, 163.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Look, I'm.
So you're getting better. As more people join this league,
Yeah.
you're getting better.
Not last, that's for sure. But I have been neglecting my fantasy team a little bit. My boyfriend's been trying to push me to do it, and I
Got it,
just
Charlie.
haven't
Whatever you
gotten
did
around
just
to
there,
it.
mate. Thank you.
Ooh.
Keep going.
Yeah, I just haven't got around to it. But
You haven't got around to what?
doing my fantasy team.
Doing your team.
Or like, I don't know, trading.
Oh, this
is
is
that what
so
it's called?
embarrassing.
Yes,
Trading.
trading.
I need to trade.
So that's 2 people. That's you, Dan.
I'm in the top 150,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not,
Kat.
I will soon be overtaken.
No.
Dan.
This isn't something that we can do in a month's time. You every week that you don't trade, your team it misses every opportunity to build any sort of cash generation. You need to update your team.
I will. I promise.
Do you need to send it into the group chat to get us going?
Yes, I do need help.
Too bloody nice, Kat. I can't get too angry at you. 2 grand final tickets on the line here. I've improved to 70 from 79. Still poor.
Yeah, still very poor.
Like the amount of flack I'm giving you guys, still poor, realistically.
For a seasoned veteran.
But there is one member of my family in my household that is continuing to climb up the ranks. My wife, Alex, with the hot team.
Yep.
She's got the hot players.
What's the team name?
Hot guys only. It's called Will Wishes. I think it's more a reflection of, maybe I wish I was as hot as some of the guys in the team. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, she's trying to be funny. Not a funny person, but she can play fantasy. She ranks 15th in our league. She's moved into the top 1,500 in Australia. She's absolutely killing it.
Very good.
She may have listened to one or two things that have come out of my mouth in the last 10 years about fantasy by the sounds of things. This is the first year she's played, and she's 1,500th in Australia.
Beginner's luck, that's all I'm saying. Because I've done it before, so, you know.
Charlie, have you done it before?
I haven't, no.
You're missing out on that luck at the moment?
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, well, that's our fantasy. Just remember, do you want me to put how about a reminder on our socials? Now's the time you need to trade, guys.
Oh,
maybe that'll help our listeners.
I get the email on Wednesday. Make sure your teams are set. And I go, all right, cool, thanks.
We'll put something up on social media to remind everyone. Spend the next 20 minutes making trades in your fantasy and then forget about it. I tend to do it in the last hour. I'm a late kind of on
11th hour man.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
All right, happy with that?
Very happy.
Let's do a nice little whippersnapper whip around. I'm liking the name of this segment more and more each week.
I can tell.
This is from the World Whiskey Award winners, best single grain, single cask whiskey, whippersnapper. Let's have a little whip around of what happened in the last week or so.
In the world.
The Derby happened. Charlie, what happened in the Derby, big fella?
I've written it down in front of you. The Dockers smashed them. Oh, I loved watching it. I loved every minute of it.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was a great game.
You enjoy games like that, just seeing some lesser-like team just getting beaten to a pulp like the West Coast Eagles were?
I think lesser liked might be a bit generous there.
Wow.
No, joking, of course. It was a great game for the Dockers.
Did it prove much to you? Did it prove much for the Freo Dockers?
I am aware that Eagles are pretty severely depleted at the moment.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, there's nothing better than watching a winning derby.
Very good, Charlie. You seem angry, Dan.
Oh, I mean, you know what? I'm a little bit happy because
you don't seem happy. You don't seem a little bit.
I'm just processing it. So it's not often that you go to a game fully expecting your team to lose.
Right.
So it's nice going to a game like, well, we're going to lose this. So
right. So you had no expectations of any sort of...
No, so there's no letdown.
Sounds pretty weak from a West Coast supporter, to be honest. Like I sit here right now,
I've been spoiled my entire life.
Right.
I can't.
And now you just 3 rounds in and go, oh, we're not going to win. Can't beat the Dockers. Can't win.
No, I just didn't think they were capable of beating the Dockers. So
yeah,
I thought,
see exactly what I was saying.
Anything is a bonus here.
Hands in the air.
Yeah, I mean a little bit. And to be honest, the score was almost generous to West Coast. If we're honest, that last sort of 8 minutes was just junk time where Freo had completely given up and West Coast scored 3 goals. Like what was it, 49 to 102 or something?
And we look forward to having Tom Cole in the program a little shit later today. Current West Coast Eagles.
But honestly, before those last 3 goals that they just slotted in because Freo didn't care anymore, it was 30 to 100.
It was a bloodbath. And you know what? It was actually, if we're just finishing this little derby recap, it was an insipid derby. There was not one contest. There was no big moments. There was, Darcy Tucker injury was, that was bad. But McGovern took a good mark. Flying Ryan took a good mark. Like, at one stage, I didn't know who was going to win the Ross Glendenning Allen medal.
Yep.
I thought maybe Hearn or McGovern could have won it. They've lost by 10 goals. And Hearn or McGovern could have won the medal. There just was no moments. There was no intensity. It was
underwhelming.
Boring. Didn't like it.
Okay.
What about the April Fool's joke we played last Monday?
Yeah, it was very good.
Monday? I don't even know what day it was.
It was
It was
Friday.
a blur.
Yeah, it was a blur. Friday. It was last Friday. So we went pretty hard. It wasn't like
it took a lot of preparation.
Look,
I had to turn my phone off at the end. I was cooked.
A little bit of insight. It wasn't like April 1st morning. We're like, let's set up like a little joke. It was almost a week of planning.
I reckon it was just after we recorded our last podcast with Sherwood Wellingham, sort of looking to the week ahead.
Yep.
What's coming up? Oh gosh, it's April Fool's Day. What can
and we had a
do for
lot
that?
of people. You wanted to list off some of the people that just helped us out?
There was a couple of the people that helped us out. We need to be clear with this as well because I didn't want anyone being thrown under the bus like, he doesn't even know what's going on.
So Ryan Daniels, for instance, let's start with him.
Ryan Daniels, he was a big part of it because what he says goes in this.
He's a newsbreaker here in WA,
and he's on the money almost all the time.
Yeah, he knows
which is why I reached out to him first. So I thought if he says it, people will believe it, and they did absolutely. 6PR, Gareth Parker, and the team over there. I sort of mooted the idea with them a couple of days out, and they were very keen to play along, which was fun. So we had some feedback that you can't set up April Fool's days before April Fool's.
There's no rules.
There's no rules, and we didn't. We spoke to people about it, but did we do anything? Did I say anything?
We didn't.
I didn't say anything. And the people who did say stuff, it was very vague. It was just, we're hearing this, we're hearing
Whispers.
that. Look, if you want to believe it, it's on you. I've got to be honest.
Yep.
So 6PR, Channel 7 in coordination with Ryan Daniels played a good part. Fox Footy.
Yep.
Drew Jones, presenter over there, played his part beautifully. I sat down with him earlier in the week before April Fool's, and he did not even blink. When I sat down to do that interview with him, sort of I'd given him a few texts back and forth, this is what we want to do, and he said, no worries. So the cameras come on, I'm doing a live cross, and I was like, all good to go, mate, and he was game face on.
Yeah,
he was like, yeah, mate.
Professional.
He was like, yeah, mate, all good. No laughs, nothing. He just hit it for 6. Absolutely killed it.
Yep.
That was a real turning point on the day for us.
So the one part I loved the most was that, so we directed a lot of people to the live press conference that we held that morning. And I think a lot of people expected that they would get to the press conference and you'd be like, hey guys,
Ta-da!
just a joke. So we had the whole press conference, and then at the end you go, thanks, and then walk off. And then people are like, hang on, I was expecting, like, where's the joke? And then about half an hour later, the Fox Footy interview comes out, and people are expecting, oh, maybe this is where the joke's revealed. Well, no, we triple down at that point. And it wasn't until like a radio interview and we put out a video. I mean, it was fun. I don't think anyone was really,
Yeah, I mean, you're a rule player, right? You have been a rule player your whole life, and you like abiding by the rules. And it didn't sit totally comfortable. You wanted to make sure no one got hurt, no feelings were.
Well, no, I just didn't. Like, for instance, with Ryan Daniels, I didn't want people to think like, oh, Ryan Daniels was a sucker. Yeah. That was my concern. But everyone that was helping out was in on it. Everyone's a legend.
I mean, while we're talking about suckers, we may as well name a few of them too. Hayden Ballantyne, friend of the family, been on this podcast a lot. He gave me a call. He was stoked. Lining up for the Eagles on the weekend, mate. Well done. Andrew fucking Embley. Tell you what, you could tell him the sky's falling down and he'd believe that because he was absolutely pumped for me. Michael Barlow, another friend of the family.
Yeah, who we had just spoken to.
Andrew Embley and Michael Barlow did a show on Triple M.
Yep.
Absolutely teeing off at me. Will Schofield, grow up.
Not funny. Yeah.
Not funny.
Yeah.
And I wrote a message to them straight away. I said, let me guess, fellas, you both fell for it.
Yeah.
And you know what? They did. Gone. Mitch Turner over at the 6PR. I'll work with him at 6PR. He was very fired up.
Really?
April Fool's Day. Yeah, he was stoked for me.
A couple of people just retweeting stuff, speculating about who this player could be.
Yeah.
I
put out a poll on the eve of April Fool's saying who got. Not a lot of truth being told there. There was 25% of the respondents of around 1,500 people that said that they got. You're lying. I reckon you're lying to yourself.
Yep.
It was very fun. Enjoyed doing it. Hopefully no one's feelings were hurt. Don't think they would have been.
No.
I mean, before I finish on it,
yeah, okay.
like, given all of that, given that whole, we had spent 3 days planning for a past player to return for their old club, someone that really was never, like, I did my calf walking up the stairs 6 weeks ago. So for me to play an AFL game. Someone texted
me saying, is Scully actually returning? And I said, mate, I don't think he could play a game of table tennis right now. He's in that sort of...
2 other clubs did it. Richmond did it with a friend of the family. A lot of friends of the family here at BackChat. Matthew Richardson. I'm coming back. I'm returning. I was texting him saying, congratulations. I'm doing the same thing. It was quite funny.
Yep.
GWS did it with Shane Munford. You've put into the BackChat text, hey, has everyone seen the Shane Munford?
Hang on, let's backtrack.
Has everyone seen the Shane Munford thing? Everyone was like, yeah, I was saying it. How good, same as Scott. And Dan was like,
not truthful. Okay, keep going.
Dan was like, yeah, no, he's playing. He's playing for GWS. You got by another team doing the same gag as us.
Okay. Let me just tell the truth of that story. You hammed that up big time, but what actually happened was somebody was like, oh, they also did it with Shane Mumford. And I just replied like, oh, I thought that was legit. That was wild. Because here's my defense. Like, I haven't paid a lot of attention to GWS. And I knew that like Mummy had been like retiring for the last 6 years. And I was so focused on our own ruse that everything else was like, I don't have the brain capacity right now.
The exact same ruse got you. That's how focused you were on it.
Yeah. There was a lot of effort.
Hopefully you all enjoyed it, all for a bit of fun. Have a laugh. It's okay. You can have a laugh at yourself and other people. It's okay. I tell you what, that's falling out of the world at the moment a bit. People losing their sense of humour. That was funny. Don't care what you say. If you thought it wasn't, let us know.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you to piss off. BackChat bets, powered by Bluebet.
Very good.
We started very well. Our first multi, we absolutely cleaned Bluebet out. Now, again, this is not about making money. I want to make that clear. This is not about making money. This is about embarrassing Bluebet.
A bit of fun, bit of banter.
bit of fun, bit of banter, embarrassed Blue Bet. Well, we took them for $11.50 four-leg multi in the first week and just went,
Yep.
We'll take that $5 all the way to the bank. Thank you very much, Blue Bet. Well, we tried to double up, and you know what we tried to do? We tried to pick a winning one.
Yeah.
We're going to reduce the odds. We're going to get Jack Darling will kick a goal. Mm-hmm. He does. Thank you very much. Whose was that? Is that yours?
That was mine.
Lockie Schultz will kick a goal. Now, I was a bit suspect on this, but you know what? Lockie Schultz kicked a goal, Charlie.
He kicked more than a goal. He kicked 2 goals.
And he won the bloody Ross Glendenning medal, Glendenning Allen medal.
Very proud of him.
Why didn't you put that in there?
Yeah,
that would have been
a good one. Yeah. It would have been overs.
Tick to Dan. Tick to Charlie. We put another one in. And that's the other thing. We did have to change the bet from what we discussed on the podcast because, quite frankly, West Coast and Fremantle don't even know who's fucking playing. I literally almost got a game. I know it was April Fool's. I was very close to the list. I asked Adam Simpson on Fox Footy. He said you were just outside the 44. I'm not joking.
Story of your career.
National TV. Said, Simo, did I almost get a game this week? He's laughing at me. Oh, great. Boy. Anyway, I digress. So we had to change it. Andrew Gaff. Look, no Sheed, no Shuey, no Kelly, no Yo, no Schofield.
Yep.
Someone had to get touches. Andrew Gaff has 13 touches in the first quarter. We had him for 30 plus. It was like,
and I saw a couple of those were just back and forth. Like, that's it. Rack them up.
It was proper Andrew Gaff sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Finished with 26. Genuinely, Andrew. Love you. And we're going to have you on the podcast one day.
Yep.
And this will be the first point. What the fuck were you doing in the last three quarters? All right, so we missed that. So bet over. Yep. The last one we had was Andrew Brayshaw for 30. Jackson Nelson tagged him out of the game in the first half. Had 7 disposals at half time.
Dan,
captain of my fantasy team. So there was twofold. I was in big trouble all over the place.
Dan texted me at about quarter time.
Yeah, I think he had 2 at quarter time.
Yeah, he had 2 or something. And he texted me, he said, can you tell Brayshaw to pull his head in?
Yeah.
It was so funny. I'm on Fox Footy doing boundary comments, and all I'm thinking about is the blue bet, and my fantasy team. I don't care about the game. I'm not even kidding. And so I'm just watching Brayshaw, and I see Jacko Nelson tagging him. I'm like, you motherfucker. Get away from him, Jacko. You're playing the game of your life. You've kept the best midfielder in the comp to 7 touches in a half. And I was thinking, what would Simo do? Down at half time, need to open the game up, need to attack. And I just wished it into existence. Drop the tag, Simo.
Yep.
Drop it. And you know what he did? He dropped it. Andrew Brayshaw had 20 touches in the second half, almost got us up. But he just missed out on the 30-plus bets.
That's okay. We're close.
So we missed it. We were close. No cigar. This week. Now, we hope this will stay the same. Watch our socials. We'll put a link up. Jump on board and give us a bit of bants on social. We'd love to just have a bit of fun with you.
If you get on board, let us know.
Love maybe a little selfie video from the couch while we're sitting, because this is an away game. We're going to focus on the West Coast Collingwood game, 2018 rematch, the Sherrod Wellingham Cup. The only man to play in both West Coast and Collingwood just grand final sides in the history of the AFL. So Sherrod Wellingham last week, Tom Cole this week. I host the show. Dan's here too.
I watched it.
There you go. Collingwood West Coast is the game we're focusing on. Now, I'm going to go first. Mm-hmm. Jordan De Goey last week kicked 1 goal for. I'm going to go Jordan De Goey, 2+ goals, so 2 or more. And the reason? I'm not playing. So he's
free reign.
I mean, who else could stop him? Who knows, Charlie? So 2+ for Jordan De Goey. That's my little leg for a bit of bants. Mm-hmm. And I will get right around that game day as well.
Yeah.
I might start pulling out. You can call me his father type. So, okay? All right.
Okay.
Dan, your side?
Jermaine Jones. Like what I'm seeing from him this season. I haven't liked a lot of West Coast.
I like I like seeing the back of him, if you know what I mean.
Number 31.
There you go.
He's doing 31 proud.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, I've been impressed.
Yeah.
So what do you got to do with him?
I think he's due for a sneaky goal.
Okay.
Bit of crummage in the forward line, snap, goal. I think we're due for that. And just to another cap to 31 against Collingwood.
All right.
Bit of a goal.
Anytime goal, Jermaine Jones into Jordan De Goey, 2+ goals because Scoey isn't out there. Charlie, what you got for us, big fella?
I've been liking some of the debutants this year, and one of them in my fantasy side, Collingwood player, Nick Dacos.
Oh, you're on the Collingwood side of things.
Yes, that I am.
You wouldn't back in the West Coast player,
I couldn't. My heart's telling me no.
Okay.
So I've got Nick Dacos.
Nick Dacos is the first-year player.
Yes,
he's got a brother, Josh, playing.
Yes, Josh. So I'm going Nick Dacos, 20-plus disposals.
Okay.
Good.
I like that. He's playing at half back at the moment and just absolutely slopping up the...
Tearing it up.
Yeah, and I reckon against West Coast it's a good bet. You know what our fourth is? West Coast to get it done at the line. So we're hoping for a little bit of action from Bluebet. Give us some points to play with. West Coast were very disappointing against Fremantle. They go to the MCG. The last game they won there, this is serious. I believe it's the 2018 Grand Final. Charlie,
Might double check that.
Yeah, have a look at that. I think it is. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
We think they can get close enough to challenge Collingwood at the line. So they'll get a bit of a points help. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's the Bluebet bet. BackChat, Bluebet bet. Watch our socials. You'll see it. We'll update you. Have a bit of a look at it. Now, before we get to You Send It, We Read It, got a nice little new segment here. We've had Media Watch floating around a bit, and we appreciate some people sending some stuff through, but I'd like to amalgamate Media Watch into something new. Mm-hmm. We've got a fine session to run.
Great.
We're going to do BackChat fines.
Before you do,
okay,
I've checked that quite quickly, and it is wrong.
Perfect.
It sounded wrong.
Oh, perfect.
You won in round 8 of 2021 against Hawthorn.
Sure.
Last year at the MCG.
Yeah, that's what it's telling me. Round 8, Hawthorn win for the Eagles. Yep.
Does anyone even remember that game happening? I just thought they were in a bubble all last year. Does anyone remember that?
Yep, 98-60.
I do not remember that. I must have really switched off at the start of my first retirement year.
Yeah, 15,000 people there.
Oh, well, there you
15,
go. Okay, big crowd. Okay, well, I was almost right, wasn't I, Charlie?
Yeah, there was a couple other wins, but yeah.
That's all right. That's all that matters. Fines at BackChat.
Yeah.
Now, this is important. Listen up. We want your contribution. Now, I'm going to run a fine session. I was fines master at West Coast for about 6 years, so hopefully I know what I'm doing. But I want your contribution. You're going to jump on the website, backchatpodcast.com.au. There'll be a nice little form there for you to fill out. If you see anything, if you hear anything, if you do anything, you want to find someone, a player, a media member, your mate.
A mate for leaving the game early or something.
Me. You want to find me. You want to find Dan. You want to find Charlie. You want to find Kat. You see them roaming BackChat. You want to find them.
Yep.
This is your opportunity. So this is a way to call people out for a bit of fun. Mm-hmm. We're going to find some dollars. Now, whether or not you pay it, up to you.
We're not policing it.
Yep.
But if you'd like to, hello at backchatpodcast.com.au. You can send us a direct debit.
Yep. That doesn't exist, but I love that. So you send in your fines. But this week, I'm going to run our own internal one just to give you an idea of what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Fines at BackChat. Oh, we also need a name for this segment too. So if you've got a nice little creative name or even a creative sponsor that wants to segment this bad boy, you can do that too.
WA Police.
Very good. All right, first one's for Charlie. Mm-hmm. Charlie, this will be $2. Thanks, mate. Charlie for costing the BackChat bet with his insatiable love for Andy Brayshaw.
Oh, I loved him in the first week. I put it on.
Forgot to tell you, there's no challenges to these fines, so you can just fucking take that. Dan for liking filet fishes more than he likes his children.
What's the cost on that?
Kat, that'll be $2. Kat, you're too nice, mate. You're so bloody nice. Kat, get some grunt in you. $2, thanks. Indy runs our socials. You're too bloody nice too. I need to stop liking both of you like I do. $2 for you, Kat. $2 for Indy. Dan for thinking it's acceptable to order a fillet of fish at any point in time in his life. Sammy, yeah, you don't get a reply. Sammy, our graphics designer, for driving a Tesla. You're 24 years old, Sammy. Grow up. Actually, don't grow up. Act your age. Leave some for the rest of us, mate. Jesus Christ. 24-year-olds driving a Tesla. $2. Hey, Will for having, that's me. Scully for having his head on every media platform known to man. As my niece informed me during the week, and how she puts it, she's one of the young'uns, you're an attention whore. Pull your head in. Thanks, Chloe. Appreciate that. Kat, here's another one for you. Late for roaming Charlie because you were at a bottomless lunch. Write a reply for that one. You were late for roaming Charlie, roaming BackChat, even though Charlie's written, I'm not meant to reveal my sources, but apparently you were late.
No, I wasn't late. I was late for drinks with my dad at the Canfield.
Okay. Charlie?
Look, we were going to meet at the stadium, 3:30, see if we could maybe get some content before. But
$2 for Kat and $2 for Charlie for a shit fine. Charlie, treating Cables in this studio like he's constantly on mushrooms. You get it? Tripping.
Yeah, tripping. Very good.
Get off the cables, Charlie. And this is just recent, actually. This happened just before we went on air. Charlie for thinking we had Virat Kohli on the podcast this week because I said we had Kohli in the studio. You were very excited.
I don't think I ever thought he was on the podcast.
Charlie,
Like I said, no reply.
No,
$2.
no right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
there we go.
fair enough.
BackChat fines. Someone can tally that up and put it in a swear jar somewhere or something like that.
Sure.
But that can be made better by a bit of interaction from our fans, from our listeners. You see something, you see some of these media types just running their mouths out in public. You send them through. You send them. We'll find them, baby. Talk. Maybe we just named the podcast. All right. You send it.
We read it.
We read it. Time to come. hello@backchatpodcast.com.au. You send us an email. We will
Read it.
Ben's email, Resco's Grand Final. It's another week, Benny. I'm sorry, mate. We will find time. It's probably without a guest. I will say that. We will have podcasts without guests this year.
Yeah.
Just for different reasons, scheduling, people pulling out. When we have that, Ben, we're going to do a full breakdown of the 2018 Grand Final for the entire episode. Mm-hmm. Matthew Symes. Doctor's Boundary.
Doctor's Boundary. Good day, BackChat. Congratulations, Will, on your boundary commentary on Sunday. I was impressed at your recovery from the Darcy slip-up. Great commentary.
Do you want me to tell you what he's talking about?
Yes, please. Oh, this is from the week before, right?
Yeah, I'll keep going. Keep going.
Anyways. So how does that all work? Do you walk into the ground 10 minutes before the game starts? Can you watch the crowds come in? Do they give you a warning before they're going across to you? Matthew Symes.
So we're talking about Fox Footy boundary riding.
TV, yep.
So it's it's actually quite interesting, I think. Maybe you can tell me if it's interesting or not. I'll tell you what happens and you say if it's interesting or not.
Sure.
You get there pretty early. So for a 4:20 start, I was doing comms checks at 3 o'clock. So about an hour and a half before you go on air. Mm-hmm. You've got an earpiece in to speak to the producers back in Melbourne because they do all the producing out of Melbourne. They've got a commentary team back there as well. So on the weekend we had Howie and Jordan Lewis. And then we also had Adam Papalia and Matt Pavlich upstairs inside the commentary box. So they've got 3 areas. They've got up in the commentary box at Optus, me on the boundary, Melbourne bunker, effectively.
Yep.
And they produce out of Melbourne. So you've got all of that in your ear, feeding in. You've got an interview microphone that's wireless that you do all the side interviews with. So we did Jamie Graham, Adam Simpson, any of the on-ground player interviews. You got a wireless mic. You've got a comms mic, which is so you got 3 microphones. So you got a comms mic that you can talk to the producer. You see something out in the ground, someone get injured, something in the crowd. Hey, producer, can see this, and they go cut to it, and then you've got your on-air boundary mic that you have to switch on and off. So if they flick down to you, you can quite easily not switch it on, and you're meant to be on air and you're not. Right. It relies solely on you flicking a switch. It's not on all the time.
Big.
You must, it's big time.
Fine territory there.
So when you
absolutely fine.
When you hear some dead space on air, it's because, and I didn't know this, it's because the boundary rider hasn't flicked it on.
Yep.
Right? So, you've got all that going on, but there's a bit of preparation. Sometimes they'll come to you straight away, but their producer will be like, we're coming to you. And that really means you got about 2 seconds to figure out what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you go, look, I can see Jackson Nelson tagging Andrew Brayshaw. Can I do a bit of, I'm watching that. And they're like, yeah, we'll come down to your next boundary throw in. We're going to come down to you, give us an update on how that tag's going. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's hard. It's a lot harder than this podcast because you got to be tighter as well. There's no time to ramble.
Yeah.
You don't
because
get
you're waiting it's between play.
Yeah.
They're not letting you just call the game.
Yeah, and you have to be right. No stuff ups. Mm-hmm. So the Darcy slip up, I'm watching Luke Ryan because he's in my fantasy team. And I'm literally looking at my fantasy scores on the boundary line. And I'm listening. You got the commentary in your ear the whole time. Yep. So you hear it. And if they do throw to you, you can quickly just, make it up. But I'm watching Luke Ryan, Sean Darcy. This is exactly how it happens. Sean Darcy gets injured. Producer in my ear, we're coming to you right now. Update us on Darcy. One, I didn't see the injury happen. I'm trying to see what happens. It's 100 metres away. He's holding his knee. And they come down to me. Will, what do you see? And it's like, live. Okay, button on. Oh, Luke Darcy. And I'm in my head going, his name's not fucking Luke Darcy. What the fuck's his name? Sean Darcy, and I just was scattered and they came off. But then luckily they came back to me quite quickly. I took the absolute piss out of myself for stuffing up.
Just owned it.
There's just not a lot of room for mistakes down there, Dan.
There isn't.
Michael Becker, you send it, we read it.
Hi, Will, Dan, Charlie, and Kat. The list is getting longer. Long-time listener, first-time email writer. Okay, this is a long one, so bear with me. My brother wrote in a few weeks ago detailing our childhood rivalry.
Yes.
To set that record straight, I have chosen to only remember my glorious victories and block out any instances where he took the win. But I do take full credit for anything he has or will achieve in his sporting career. He would have been nothing without me, helping him develop a thick skin and will to win. Hello, Andy in Sweden, and good luck for your for the ultra marathon you're running this weekend. Ultra marathons just make me feel ill.
Yeah, I know. That's
massive respect to the people that can do those. Moving on, great work getting Cameo on board as a sponsor. It's a great product. The highlight of my Christmas morning this year was a cameo that my wife had arranged for me from Ben Cousins. He told me that winning the 2006 Cup wouldn't have been the same without me there in the crowd, and I'm owning that. That's a good message.
I definitely meant it as well. I'm sure that you had a lot to do with it.
Yes, for sure.
Mick.
I was hoping that you could chat to your upcoming guests around crowd interactions. Obviously, it was great watching Buddy Kicky's 1,000th goal, but after a few minutes of him getting swamped and touched by thousands of unwashed Sydney-siders, I couldn't help but think about how annoying that would be. Okay, I actually had some crowd interaction with Scoey a few years back. I think it was 2009 or 10, and I was in Sydney visiting a mate.
I haven't read this yet, so I'm excited.
Okay. We went along to the SCG to watch the Eagles versus Swans. That day did not go well from memory. The Eagles got done by about 60 points. But late in the game, Scoey was having a rare set shot from the forward pocket directly in front of myself, my wife, and my mate Laz, who were in the front row. We'd had a few beers and the game was basically over, so I thought I would give Scoey some advice. I piped and told him, what you want to do here, mate, is kick it through the big sticks, which is very solid advice, might I add. He was no more than 2 feet away, so he definitely heard. Despite my superior coaching, he proceeded to kick across the face and out on the full.
I remember this.
As he jogged off, I stood up and yelled, Scoey, what did we just talk about? Scoey turned around and gave me a smile and a shrug. Just not the Eagles' day. Not much of an interaction, but after 8 or 9 beers, I enjoyed it and thought, it was quite hilarious. I was quite the hilarious visiting fan. Hopefully there are some better fan interaction stories you and the guests can discuss. Well, let's make sure we ask Tommy Cole about that when he comes on soon.
Yeah, I mean, we'll ask Coley because, I mean, you've heard my solar panel story down in Tasmania. That was my favourite interaction. But I do remember that. As you were talking through, I was like, it was on the, you know, where Buddy kicked his 1,000th? Yeah. Right, that spot. No. It was at the other end, the furthest away pocket from where we run out as West Coast players. And it was a tight angle. I was tagging Adam Goods.
Was it tighter than the Dom Sheet angle?
Getting a bath. It was similar. And it was on the right side for a right footer. So if you can think about the Dom Sheet goal on the left, instead of kicking it through the middle, it just kept sliding to the left out
the full,
want to
go the check
far side. No, see, a comment like that just makes you look stupid. A check side for a right footer on the right side, that's a snap.
Bending right.
Check side's like a banana, mate. Check side's a banana. So if I was on the side, don't look at me like you know. If I was a right footer, standing where Dom Sheed was, I'd kick a check side.
Yes, that's what I mean.
All right, but
so you didn't want to go the check side. That's what I was asking you instead of.
Well, like I wouldn't because I was on the right side for a right footer.
Okay, all right.
You placed me.
The right side, not the right side. Sure.
Oh God, not with a W. It's silent W. All right, Andrew Vitolins. What does that name ring a bell?
No, I think he emailed in before. I think.
Yeah, I like the last name. Strong last name, Andrew. Thank you, parents.
No subject.
And grandparents.
Could chuck a subject in just for us to know, but not necessary. The weekend St Kilda Richmond fixture should prompt the discussion of which Victorian teams would most benefit by being a point of difference in the competition by capturing this late Sunday twilight market and making it their own. They could make it their domain, capturing an untapped supporter base and sponsorship opportunities. Alternatively, with 10 Victorian bases sides, each club could play in 2 Sunday twilight fixtures throughout the 23-round season. The remaining 3 Sunday fixtures could be derbies in Queensland, New South Wales, South Australia and Western Australia. Kind regards, Andrew.
I mean, there's a lot of work that's gone into that thought process. Basically, what I take out of it is asking, like, I think that Victorian teams should have the Sunday twilight fixture because at the moment it's Western Australian teams because of the way that the timings work. Mm-hmm. You can't do it the other way around. But Andrew's saying you can, and you definitely can.
So
you'd have the West Coast game in the middle of the Sunday, or
or like so it would be in Melbourne. It would be the 4:40.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
I agree. I think it'd work. I think like Melbourne's a bigger footy city than Perth. Now we get some great crowds, but you got to remember you have 10 teams in Victoria, so there's a lot of support. There's more supporters. I think big opportunity there. Big opportunity. I like it, Andy. I like it. Last one, Dale. Backline.
There we go. Gents, watching footy on TV is not always a guide to a player. And makes me ponder the following question in regards to the work forwards do around packs. A lot of people bag Darling when he kicks one goal, but watching him live, he seems to be the player that takes one for the team and crashes packs, causing 50-50 contests. Is this the game plan? Would Kennedy have kicked so many without Darling? Scully, what teams or players did you always know that you'd be extremely sore after the game against? So should we go back to crashing the pack game plan?
Look, as tall forwards for West Coast specifically, like they're required to not lose the context. You got to halve or win it, and so if the ball comes down the line and you're that forward that's crashing that pack, crash the pack and try and mark it. Like Jack Darling's trying to mark every ball he goes for, same as Josh Kennedy probably, but at the very least they're trying to not lose. You don't want to get outmarked.
Yes.
So Jack crashes packs, but I dare say Josh Kennedy crashes packs. So the next question, would Kennedy have kicked so many without Darling? Yes. I would actually flip that. I would say, would Darling have kicked so many without Kennedy?
Yep.
Kennedy's been the linchpin for the entire time they've been together. Jack went to take over him in 2018, got injured, and that he was on the trajectory to take over him. Mm-hmm. And they would have hoped the same for this year as well, but it hasn't happened clearly. And I think Jack would say the same thing. He's been very lucky to play with Josh Kennedy. Anyone, not Jack Darling, because anyone in the history of the game to play alongside Josh Kennedy or Lance Franklin, a superstar,
someone who's always getting the best defender,
to be the Robin to a Batman like that. That's what you'd hope for. So, like Jack Darling would say, he would never have kicked as many. Josh would say the same. Jack takes good defenders as well. So them together is better than one of them by themselves.
Yep.
You like that?
I love it.
You know who's coming up next?
TC.
Virat Kohli. Oh, no, Tom Cole. Tom Cole, premiership player. Let's go. Okay, here we go. We don't do introductions on this show. So here he is, Tom Cole in the flesh. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Do you like the intro?
Yeah, doing well.
Look, mate, we don't do intros because we know what you've done on the footy field. Yep, you've won a premiership for the West Coast Eagles. You've played, not 100, but you've played enough games for West Coast. Done a lot of good things on the football field. But the first question we ask every single guest is, we want to know your greatest sporting achievement, not on the football field. Look, you've done those things. It's great, but we don't really care. We're here to tell you we don't care. Just want to loosen you up a little bit.
We've all played footy. Kick a ball.
Dan's done some things off the footy field. Scully's done quite a few, actually. I've got some big talents. But what do you have?
I've done quite a few as well. Anyways.
You can't include 10-pin bowling. What's your...
10-pin bowling?
No,
that's
you
impressive.
You actually can. You can include whatever you like.
Yeah.
Best sporting achievement, not on the football field.
Look, I wasn't a very multi-talented sports person.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, like I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none, except for footy, obviously.
He's a master of footy.
But it's probably basketball, to be honest. That was my other sport that I was respectable at. You would have seen me around the club. Like, one of those blokes was more coordinated than some others. Like,
I was just thinking, I was just like, no, I've actually never seen you play well at basketball. No, you were a good basketballer.
Yeah, so beside like a few MVPs and that in grand finals and whatnot, my favourite achievement playing basketball, like the biggest high I had was I hit 2 game winners. So to win
buzzer
the game,
beaters.
Buzzer beaters, down by 1 or 2 points to put us ahead. My favourite one was from half court. So yeah,
amazing.
Team scored with 5 seconds left. Quickly got the ball into me, a few dribbles up the court, and tossed it in from half court.
Very good.
And it was at the local Bendigo stadium and everyone around.
Now, I mean, that's it. Was it sort of like a bit of a fadeaway? Was it like you? The reason I ask is after I just told you about the microphone, Coley, this is how you did this back here. I need you to stay up in the grill of like you'd be defending 1-on-1, please. So it was a nice little fadeaway story.
Spirit?
What was your team called?
That's the women's team. And the Bendigo
right.
Braves is the males.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you have aspirations to play any like Like basketball, I did read something researching today. You actually triggered some memories. Do you want to play basketball?
Yeah, I enjoy basketball way more than footy.
Really?
Such a better sport. So much better. Like the blokes playing NBA, even NBL. Like NBL's big now. I'd much rather do that, but I just wasn't good enough in the end. And
I don't agree. Dan loves basketball.
It's actually I am remembering something from 2018. Actually, you guys did a lot of practice at Bendat Basketball Stadium.
Yeah, we used to do Tuesdays.
Yeah, because I worked at Bendat at the time when I was working at the Wildcats. And I used to watch you guys try. My office was like right on the window there watching. And you guys had a lot of basketball, like the shooting competitions at the end.
Yeah.
We had to ban them because someone absolutely ruined their ankle.
Yeah.
Jack Petrich.
Yeah, I remember him watching
used to
him.
love basketball.
He was very good, wasn't
He's
he?
better than me.
Someone
he's a lot
destroyed
better
their ankle playing, and we had to stop playing afterwards.
Yeah. We recently got a basketball ring at the club.
Where?
In the shed. And Bailey Williams last year maybe went up for a slam dunk and landed down on his ankle. Yeah, missed.
Landed on a ball.
Landed on something. His ankle didn't. Yeah, it wasn't a good landing. He missed 6-7 weeks.
So
I think.
Have they taken that?
No,
down?
it's still there. It's still
Just
there.
no dunking.
It creates too much fun. Boys need it.
That's so good.
Just no dunking. Yeah.
Didn't that Nui get it in a bit of strife for dunking at a Wildcats game once?
Right. Not only did he dunk, he like lined up like
jumped-
17 people in a row, like a monster truck thing, and did a huge like launch from the 3-point Michael Jordan style with a backflip. And he came into the club on the Monday, and he literally sat down the team meeting. It was like, Nick, what are you doing, mate? He's like, oh, I'm just dunking, like whatever. I over-exaggerate a little bit, but it was quite a big dunk. Yeah. Now, it's not about Nick, no.
Yes, sir.
He's not a friend of the family yet. Grew up in country town. You spent time in Warrnambool. Didn't know that about you. You did.
Yeah, that was the second town I lived in. Was born in Seymour.
Really?
Do you know where that is?
Country Victoria.
Yeah, Country Vic. Yeah. About an hour from Bendigo.
Yep.
Moved to Warrnambool for 3 years, and then back to Bendigo.
Running a hotel? Your
Yeah,
parents?
yeah. Run a motel. Motel Warrnambool it was called. I
Wow.
don't know what the difference is, but yeah.
How old were you when your parents were running a motel?
7. Yeah.
Can you remember anything from it? I just
Checking people in at the desk.
Vivid memory. Yeah, like, I wasn't. I used to clean rooms. Yeah, no,
they had
seriously.
to sell the motel for cleanliness issues.
But my sisters were genuinely like, if you booked in there, you'd be dealing with like 15-year-old girls. Like my sisters,
Wow.
checking you in, taking you to your room.
Warrnambool's a country town.
Yeah.
It's like a coastal country town in Victoria.
Yeah.
Used to have some people from the Mick Turner Footy Factory, Geelong. It was kind of the catchment area for Geelong Falcons.
Yep.
So you could have been a Geelong Falcon almost.
Yeah, could have. Yep.
But you moved to Bendigo.
Moved to Bendigo of all places.
What's Bendigo like to grow up in?
Look, it's pretty big, like 100,000 people there, but not a lot to offer. Like right in the middle of Victoria, so a bit of a desert. But yeah, like went to a good school. It's a big town, so there is a lot to do, but at the same time, there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
You know
is
what
it
I mean?
country?
Yeah, country.
Like
2 hours from Melbourne.
spoke to Sheeta about growing up in Kalgoorlie, who spoke about the freedom that like city kids don't have. Like, did you feel like that growing up?
Yeah, and we were 15 minutes out, so we had a bit of a property. So we had like dune buggies, motorbikes. I was mowing the lawn and ride a mower. It took me 3 hours to do because we had such a big property, like that sort of stuff. And I feel like that's the difference between us country boys and the metro boys.
You notice that? Us country boys.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
we're
mowed some
only-
lawns.
Like Tom Barras, Scarborough. It's not really country, but we deal
not at all.
You wouldn't actually know, but we deal a lot with country people on this podcast because you're a city kid, aren't you?
Marangaroo.
Don't know where.
10 minutes out of the city, yeah.
Charlie, you're a city kid.
Subiaco.
Oh, yeah.
I bet Sammy is even further inside Subiaco.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Subiaco squared. Kat, where did you grow up? What you a city girl or country girl?
I grew up near Warnborough.
Warnborough.
That's a nice way of saying Rockingham.
Yeah,
Okay, city, I like it. Country, okay, very good. Now, Bendigo, growing up, you played Vic Country, so you had a bit of potential coming through footy. You were drafted at 36.
36, yeah.
Did you think that footy was like 36? Isn't like you're not a top 10 draft pick. You're also not scraping the barrel as a rookie. You're sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
Were you going to get drafted always?
I was on the night. I was fairly confident I'd go.
Yeah.
As you said, I wasn't going to go in the top 10. Didn't think I was going to be I wasn't going to get picked. So I was confident I was going to go at some point. So it could have been to anywhere, like during the draft process.
Who'd you speak to?
Spoke to everyone.
Who did you think you did?
Yeah,
you
spoke to everyone.
Did you think there was someone more likely than others?
Well, I got told by Port Adelaide, which was the next pick, that they'd pick me.
I was the same.
37.
Really?
Yeah.
Port with 51 and West Coast took me at 50.
Yeah.
We could have both been at Port Adelaide together.
But I didn't think I was staying in Victoria. Like I just had a feeling I was going to leave.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay with that?
Yeah, fine. I was
happy with it?
Happy, yeah. Like at the time, I was a bit like, fuck, I don't know how I'm going to go here. Like I've lived at home, bit of a mummy's boy. I'm the youngest of 4. Got 3 older sisters, so she never had a job. She never made me got a job. Gave me pocket money when I wanted. You know what I mean? So I was spoiled in a sense. So I was a bit nervous, but once I got here, I was fine.
How did your mum feel about you moving over from the east to WA? Because I think you said once that she wasn't keen on you leaving the state.
Yeah, there was tears on the night, and I don't think they were tears of joy when my name got read out. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, so she was obviously happy for me, but at the same time, like in my first year,
she was proud of you.
Yeah, she was proud. In my first year, she was over here a lot, like visiting once a month. Like it was like I was at home anyway.
Well, you're the only son in the family. You have 3 sisters, so were you the golden child?
The golden child, but I was a mistake. By the way, yeah, my dad had a vasectomy.
No,
6 months before Mum fell pregnant. To
wow.
me,
so you're like immaculate
It's
conception.
a miracle, not an accident.
Yeah, well, a good accident. Yeah. The
immaculate
best
conception. That's unreal.
Yeah,
like Jesus.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah,
stuff.
so I was a golden child for sure.
Yeah, good. 78 games so far.
Yep.
0 Brownlow votes.
Yeah, you know, mate. How many Brownlow votes did you have?
You just come talk to me when you want to talk about Brownlow votes, mate.
Yeah, we're ready.
I had 1.
You have 1?
1 in 194.
Was I playing in the game, or was it early?
it was when I could run and bounce and carry and, before you took my
get in
spot
front of the
and
umpires.
doing all those things. Carlton at Telstra or Etihad or Mar, whatever it is. I reckon they... there was a bit of a morphing of players. I reckon some things I did got morphed with someone else.
The other Schofield?
Yeah, I kicked a goal, had 18 disposals, kicked a goal. I know you'll be checking this right now, Charlie. Good game.
Round 14, 2011.
Yeah, it was the year Carlton were quite good that year. We played them in a final at the end of that year, and it was a big win for us, like in Melbourne against a good team, top 4 side. And you could say that I came close to winning the game. Kicked a go-ahead goal in the 3rd quarter. Started raining at Telstra. It was raining at Telstra.
Oh, they had the roof open.
Yeah, roof open, mate, and it was raining. Yeah, so
you were a bit of a highlight reel, like early days, and you occasionally, it was great to see later in your career, like once every 5 weeks, would just pull it out, and it was good, like great to see.
Good to hear from someone else on this podcast.
I'll respect that. Yeah,
I'll tell you bloody what.
It's good when you don't do anything a long time. Those little moments really stand out.
Now, I think growing up, your favourite player is a friend of the family, Dan. Matthew Richardson. You're a Richmond supporter.
Richo been on BackChat.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, Richo, mate. He gave me some great nights and some shockers too.
So you're a Richmond fan growing up?
Oh, yeah. Die hard, mate.
Really?
And like die hard.
Shocking periods to support them.
And it was the same every year, like the biggest builder. It was like Carlton of the last 10 years.
50 years.
Yeah, like we got a good list this year. We're going to make finals, this and that. And then we'd play on the Thursday night, first round of the year, and just get pumped every week.
Richard kicked 10 one week and kicked -5 the next.
Complained to the umpires every call the next week. Loved him. Love-hate relationship with me and Richo. If you're listening, Richo, mate.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure he is. So he was your favourite player?
Yeah.
Key forward. So that would have been like, if he was your favourite player, it was like, you might be too young for because I was a Richmond fan growing up as well.
Yeah.
I was Geelong, and I had this period of time where the girls across the road went for Richmond, so I got taken to a Richmond game.
Yeah.
And Matty Knights.
No, I don't know Matty Knight. He's a coach at West Coast.
I know.
I didn't see Knight play.
Mate, he's a Richmond legend.
Yeah, really?
Your coach at your football club,
Yeah,
midfield coach.
When did he retire?
You see like Francis Watson with bloody Scott Burns here, mate. Scott Burns, you play football, mate.
I'm going to shake his hand when I see him next.
Matty Knights, mate. He played for your great Richmond Tigers. Have a look at some of the games Matty Knight. He was one of the all-time midfielders for the mighty Tigers.
Yeah, right.
So
in
Wayne Campbell is at
2002.
GWS now. The Gale brothers, so current president, Brendan Gale.
Yep.
He was a backman for Richmond. Geez, you're young, mate. You're very young.
Backman with Joel Bowden days and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, no, yeah. You're too young.
a bit young.
Now, we're going to start this one off before we get into the footy stuff with a few little drive-bys, if that's all right. Did the same with Sheeta. I think it's appropriate for you too. Facial hair. Talk to me about your facial hair and, some of the cycles you've gone through in your life. Some have drawn comparison with perhaps maybe a Britney Spears in the way that, when things aren't going great, you might, shave it all off like Britney did, the bald Britney.
Leave Britney alone.
Get dropped, injured, off comes the mo. Is that how it goes?
This is good that Lily's told you this.
I try not to expose you, Lily. It's fiancée Lily.
You could probably say at the time I don't think I'm in a bad state, but usually it's a time of crisis being dropped. This year when I hurt my ankle,
gone.
Not straight away, but I was feeling a bit, I'd had surgery, hadn't got off the couch for a while. I went and got a haircut and I was like, nah, the mo's got to go. I look ridiculous. It always gets to the point where I'm looking at myself in the mirror with the mustache and I'm like, what are you doing, mate? Like, grow up. Like, you're 25, mate. You look stupid. Shave it off. And then every time it comes off, Lily's like, what have you done? Like, what's happened? You look shocking.
When did it start? And so it comes back every time?
Comes back.
When did it start? 2018?
The mo? Yeah, 28. That was when it got to a point where it was thick enough to be respectable, so I kept it,
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm trying to kind of get rid of it, but people keep telling me not to, so I think I'm just going to keep it.
You look ridiculous without one. I mean, you would too.
Well, you're sort of waiting for, like, how are you with a full beard? Like, can you...
Nah.
Yeah, I went through that stage. I still am in that stage of life.
I was about to say, there's no way,
where the moustache was the only thing you could do, so you push it.
Yes, I'll probably... Yeah,
very wispy on the sides.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm not growing a beard. When someone says that I have a beard, I laugh. It's not a beard.
What is that?
Bum fluff. I don't know.
No, it's good. I like you both.
Are you going to stick with it?
What do you mean stick with it? I haven't shaved properly for years.
Now,
this is who I am, man.
Now we're gonna have to. This is gonna be one we're gonna have to sort of play through somehow. I don't know if you want to see this again, but. Yeah, growing up in Bendigo, you obviously got a fair bit of time on your hands. Christmas time comes around. I mean, talk us through. I showed Dan before the show, and it
made me feel ill.
I'll show you a little bit so we can get a bit of a live reaction. This is you and your sister. Is that right? Which sister is this?
This is Darcy, my sister. Yes, right. Mine is closest in age to me.
I mean, can you talk? I mean, we'll probably have a little clip of this in the podcast as we're watching this along. Like, what exactly is going on?
It's Christmas time, the festive season, obviously.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town, so it's a good time for everyone, really. The festive season's the best.
I can't, it makes me feel sick.
I've said it to me times.
And we just made a video. We sent it to the family, and I'm very regretful that this video got posted on YouTube.
It's still on YouTube.
Yeah, it's still on YouTube. But look, I can watch it a bit better these days, but my first month at the club, this got shown to all the boys, and it was one of the worst days of my life.
So it was shown to the club by the fines master at the time, Will Schofield. So
he's looking at me.
Well, so we just introduced today on BackChat fines. So I'm now the new fines master here at BackChat. So that video came across my desk, and hopefully you've all seen it. If you haven't, jump on socials, BackChat _.
Or don't.
It is just, funnily enough, I told you about this. That got banned. It's showing in 5 different countries. It's still got a ban in Guatemala, Germany. It's so offensive they've banned it.
It should be too. I'm still flat at my sister.
You need to see what we're talking about here. But is there an apology, or that's how it goes?
No, there's not an apology, mate. You've had nights out with me, and you know that when I get in a groove on the D floor, I can boogie. So,
Lucky Dan's an alcoholic and finished his drink.
Yeah, I can boogie on the dance floor. So,
I've seen that.
I grew up with 3 sisters, and I kind of got made to do whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't have a choice a lot of the time. I got bullied. So, yeah.
Okay, so Lily, you've just been engaged to your fiancée, Lily. Beautiful Lily.
Lily, yep.
One of the first movie nights that you guys watched together with Lily's parents.
interesting one. I don't remember the movie, but it wasn't PG.
Was it pornographic?
There was pornographic scenes in it, and it was.
Blimey.
So you've gone around to Lily's house.
Yeah.
Did you bring the DVD?
We would have been dating for maybe a month. And
how old were you?
17.
Okay, she said 14.
Maybe 16 then. And we started watching this movie with her parents, Frank and Emma, lovely people.
Yes.
And like within the first 5 minutes of this movie, there was pornographic images and scenes, and we all started looking around at each other as if to say, like, come on, like, let's turn this off. And instead of doing that, which any normal person would have done, we proceeded to sit there for however long that movie went. It felt like 4 days, and sit there in silence. No one made any emotion towards if something was funny. There was no emotion. It was just silence, and it was one of those awkward times of my life. But it was a bit of an icebreaker for me and Lily's parents.
Obviously went
I
well.
can say, yeah.
Obviously went well.
Yeah.
It's gone along nicely.
I want to know what movie this is. Not that I can watch it, but just
Do you know-
to see
do you know what it is?
sort
No,
of things
I'd
you
have to
pick.
ask Emma. Yeah.
Are you an ABBA fan?
Yes.
You like it? You're not a closet ABBA fan. You're out in the open ABBA fan.
Yeah.
I mean, you love it.
Yeah, I love ABBA. Yeah.
You love ABBA.
Yeah.
Favorite song?
I'm shocking with the names of songs, but
What's that one that you played?
Wasting your emotion. You know that one.
May all your love
We
on
do
me.
now. Lay all your love on me.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
I don't like them.
You don't like ABBA?
No, that's not like a big deal. People don't like ABBA.
That's a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Cat's
massive
shocked. Cat's shocked. She's not on mic, but she's shocked. What's happening? You right? You okay?
They're bad songs. Every time.
Fun song.
They're,
Boo.
all right, don't boo me. You know I'm
Hate
right.
fun.
Comes on at a wedding, people are like, okay, I guess I'll have to dance to this.
Yeah, and Dan
Can't tell me that
Dan's
Dancing
out the back
Queen is a
flashing
good
his
song.
badge with the fun police. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. No more of enjoying yourself at the wedding. No one on the dance floor. I can literally see you up the back as well. Ride your electric
Arms
scooter
crossed.
up the back just with a
Having a
badge.
filet fish.
Now, okay, you want to mention filet fishes? I will ask this one before we get into some serious stuff. Are they philo? Is that what they're called? Filet fish. Filet fish.
Depends how fancy you're feeling.
Fillet of fish.
Do you is that in your repertoire of orders from McDonald's?
Eaten it before wouldn't. I ordered
Please give
one.
us a review.
Oh,
How was it?
do you know what? This is the one time I had a fillet of fish was after the BNF in 2020, your last BNF,
Yeah.
and I got food poisoning. And this is the truth. I got food poisoning. I don't know if it was from the fillet of fish.
you fucking know, mate.
I don't know, but
No,
it was one of the first times I'd had it. I hadn't had it. I don't have them regularly, and I had food poisoning. And we had another day booked at Crown. Lily's out in the pool in the morning. I'm crawled up in the toilet in the Crown toilet, throwing up for like 6 hours.
What do you have to say about that?
So is that a bit-
That was the
is that-
first and last time he's had a fillet of fish.
So it's
Yeah.
after a BNF?
Yes.
Okay, hands up who hasn't claimed they've had food poisoning after a big night? Like, I don't blame the
Look,
filet
I
fish.
got to come to Tom's defences here. He's had a few big nights in his life. He doesn't end up on the floor in the toilet for 6 hours.
I've had countless fillet fish and I've never ended up on the floor.
I always hold it. I will never throw up. I'll hold it in, and I couldn't physically stop myself here. And the only conclusion I could come to was because of the fillet of fish.
Well, there you go. That'll lead the show with the socials this week. I couldn't physically stop myself from throwing up.
It's a good burger, mate. Just
Now, again, last one from me. You're a good runner.
Yeah, decent.
No, you're a good runner. You're one of the best runners at West Coast, and a big part of West Coast fitness regime and testing policy at 2K time trials. Was there once a time where you tried to perhaps over prepare a little bit and get yourself, you maybe had a headache or something and perhaps tried to go well in a 2K time trial? Can you tell this story?
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, well, one of the biggest days in pre-season. You want to set a good time, make the coaches happy. So, as you do before a game, you take 2 Panadols and 2 Advils. Takes the edge off all your little sore spots.
Do you know about this? 2 Panadol, 2 Advils, just
Secret recipe.
just a nice little.
but how often? Like, is this every game?
Yeah, I was on that program for the last part of my career. Yep. It's just like you get a sore back. You like wake up with a sore back, just that ache and pain. 2 Advils, 2 Panadols for the game does it. You're fine. So you've done that for the 2K time trial.
So I've tried to do that for the 2K time trial. taken the 2 Advils. They're obviously little green
Yeah.
capsule, so taken them, and then thought I'd taken 2 Panadols, but I'd popped 2 Endones, which were
From the previous pre-season surgery, which is a high-end painkiller.
And once I've realised this, I've started looking up the symptoms of endones, obviously drowsiness. Like, obviously took away all my pain like I wanted it to with the Panadol, but
Couldn't feel your legs.
Yeah, couldn't feel my legs. Like bad anxiety on the way there. I was trying to make myself throw up, and as I said before, I can't throw up. So I was trying to make myself
Should have got yourself a field of fish, mate.
Yeah, should have. Couldn't. Didn't want to tell the doc because I was like, here we looking at me going like, why is this bloke popping endones the day of a 2K? But so I was laying down at the track like feeling shocking, like a bit dizzy, like had to have a moment to myself like in the toilets and then come back out and ran 5 laps of the ass track and couldn't feel a thing in my body, and I think I ran a PB that day.
I'll just tell you there, like 2 codeines, you have surgery. So you had surgery on your ankle, sitting here with your moon boot on at the moment. You get a strip of codeines to help you sleep at night and to get you through the day, not help you sleep at night. You need to take them to survive, basically. Yeah. But you always probably end up with a strip of you might have 2 left over or whatever, and they just sit there in your medicine cabinet. So I can see how it's happened.
They look exactly like Panadol. That's why I was like, perfect, bang, bang, quick, I need to get this in.
It's just not the sort of preparation you want before a 2K time trial because you're anxiety-ridden to start with. You've just spent a whole pre-season of probably not training when you should have, and then you've ramped it up late to try and get yourself back on track. You're good to go. You're ready to fire. A couple of Panadols will just get that nice feeling. To drop codeines, like if you drop codeines when you've had surgery, it'll put you asleep. Yeah. So to do that before you're meant to be at your peak physical condition at a 2K time trial.
The worst part about that day is too, after 2Ks now, we go into a full training session. So we've gone back to the club, done a full training session, then we've had meetings all over. I'm sitting there all day like, just get me home. Like, I need to get out of this place. Like, but yeah, I won't be doing that again, that's for sure.
So you get drafted at the end of 2015, just played in a grand final, the club, and then 2016, 2017, you play 6 games. How was that period of your career? Is it hard to get a game in that? It's a good team. So 2015's grand final team. Is that how it was? Were you developing? Were you ready? How does that first couple of years play out for you?
I was definitely developing. I played some good waffle footy early, and Simo liked me, so he gave me a chance in my first year when we had a very good team. I took injuries to get me in for a couple games. And I probably got a bit ahead of myself because I re-signed a deal when I was 18, thinking, how good's this? And then I just probably wasn't, in 2017, I just probably wasn't serious enough about my footy. You know how it is. And it took me that season to have a very inconsistent season, play 4 games and not really do a whole lot with a bit of expectation, myself and from the club. And then at the end of that year, Simo kind of gave me a bit of a rocket, and that steered me in the right direction to sort my footy out and get fit and do everything that an AFL player should be doing to play good footy. But yeah, the first 2 years were a massive learning curve. I didn't quite get it right, but it was what I needed, and it steered me in the right path in the end because I learned a lot of lessons from it. That's for sure.
Do you reckon it was because you just didn't know? Like, you come onto a list, you come into a successful side, you have half a good season, and then you just like, well, just keep happening. Like, yeah, you don't know what you need to do to be a
I just expected everything to happen for me, yeah, and then it obviously didn't, and then that's what it took for me to kind of take things into my own hands and my own career into my own control and just do what I had to do to become a better AFL player because I knew I had the capabilities, but I really wasn't giving it a crack like I should have been.
So Simo gave you a cook?
Good one.
What sort of things did he say to you?
Some that I probably can't repeat, but it was at the end of 2017. The boys were playing finals and we were back in Perth, the boys who weren't playing, and we went out and had a few beers when we weren't supposed to, and when the boys lost their last final, he basically pulled me and a couple of others into his office and said, look, you're this close to making it, you're this close to just not being on our list anymore, so it's up to you if you want to make it. I don't care, like, it's not my career, like, figure it out. And
It's interesting.
yeah, that's what I needed. And then
So you put it on you and the young guys.
yeah.
That's a Simo trait, and it's a good one. It's like, you can either make something of yourself and do it yourself, or you can just
Because he's not much of a sprayer, is he? He's more like
he's more disappointed.
Yeah,
in
he was very disappointing, and that's probably what got me the most. Like I had a couple of sprays from him, footy wise, but when he said that, I was like, geez, I need to sort myself.
So how old are you there though?
19.
I don't know what I was doing at 19, but what were you doing when you were 19?
No idea. Can't remember.
Pissing
Long
in the
time
wind,
ago.
probably.
Probably.
Not
on
taking
the
5 for 18.
Not on the verge of an AFL list. So then, what did you like at that time? Then what were you like? Okay, what have I got to? What did you do?
Well, as Scully said before, I was a good runner, and in those first couple of years, I was unfit. I was overweight. Like all the things that you just need to have right to be a good footy player. I didn't. Skin folds, fitness, strength, and I got all that right. And then once I got that right, it just gave me confidence for everything else to go right, and it just put me in a good spot to play good footy. And then I was lucky enough to play some footy in 2018 and keep my spot for most of the year, which was nice.
So 2018, hopefully you're okay talking about this, mate. You just pull me up if you're not. Hopefully we can talk to each other about it a bit. But 2018 didn't start the way anyone would have liked. You lost your old man, Russell. So you're 20 years old, living on the other side of the country. You've come off 2 years of maybe not doing what you want to do at the footy club, and Simo's giving you a cook at the end of the year, and you lose your old man. How do you reflect at the start of 2018? How do you reflect on that now? Given where it's gone quick, hasn't it? Like we're 4 or 5 years down the track. It feels like it was yesterday, really.
Yeah. In a way, like as much as death sucks, it taught me a lot of good lessons. And at the time, I was in a really good space with footy, so I was in a good headspace. And then old man passed away, and it kind of, I think if I hadn't committed to my footy so much and got in such good habits with footy and really was so determined to make something of my football career, it would have rocked me a lot more. If it was the year before, it would have been completely different. But it taught me a lot of good lessons, just about cherishing every moment that I had, like with the boys around the footy club, with my family, and I never got since Dad's passed away, I've never really got caught up in what's happened in the past or what's coming. I kind of just live in the moment because being 20 years old and watching your old man pass away, it's pretty confronting, and it just taught me to cherish every moment because I felt like I hadn't before that. So it was as much as it was a shocking thing, and death is never good, it actually taught me a lot of lessons and helped me a lot that year, I think. And
the footy club, the environment that you were in at the time, being, so a similar thing happened to me. I think I was 22, Dad passed away quite suddenly, and the footy club environment, we spoke to Tom Hawkins on this podcast, so he lost his mum to cancer midway through his career. And we both spoke about, I'm wondering if you felt the same thing, that the footy club environment, because it's so ruthless and it's so week to week and it's so on to the next contest, at times you may not deal with things probably as you should, but also it's a good environment to be in to help you not move on but keep going. Is that?
Yeah, 100%. And my best thing about that was my family were like, I was in Bendigo for maybe a month, and they were like, you got to get back. Like, you're sitting around here doing nothing. And I was a bit like, I felt a bit bad, but they were like, nah, get back. And I got back, and that was the best thing. It was like, well, they don't, like, not the footy club doesn't care, but like they've got bigger things to deal with. Like, we got a season of footy to play. So it was like, right, I'm just kind of back to where I left off, which was good. And then I played a couple of games and got back into that groove of footy, and it kind of made me move on from the whole situation. And then once I started playing good footy again, it was that, as you said, it was the best thing for me, just get back into it.
Simo came and visited your old man before he passed away, didn't he? I read that today. I never knew that.
Yeah, there was a crew crew of them, Serge, Easy, Malin, Simo, and maybe Voz come down. But yeah, Simo come to Bendigo to visit Dad for maybe half an hour. Like, good of him. Like, he had like some AFL commitment in Melbourne, so I drove down to Bendigo 2 hours, saw my old man for half an hour, and told him, because Dad was on his last few days before he passed, he told him that I was going to play him round 1, and that was probably like the last time Dad could comprehend what Simo was saying and could respond to him. Was like the last time he basically smiled, So it was pretty special, and it was good of Simo.
Yeah.
So
Did you play round 1?
No, I didn't get back because I was still in Bendigo, but ended up coming back
But
a few weeks later.
that'll be the last thing you, old man, fucking remember.
Yeah, so that was pretty good by Simo.
Yeah, I read it today and I texted Simo. Didn't know that it happened, and I thought that was pretty special, right? I mean, the other thing is, like, you've had a lot of female influence in your life as well. Moving on from that, like, Mum Donna, 3 sisters, fiance Lily. Like, you're surrounded by powerful women.
Yeah.
It's good. It shaped the man you are, right? Like,
it has. They've taught me very good values, especially how to treat women. Like, Mum has always been big on that. I've never got ahead of myself with my 3 sisters, and especially Lily and Mum. Like, they keep me in my place, which is good. It's what I need. I can't thank them enough.
So you've gone from your first 2 years, right? Your first year you played 2 games. The second year you played 4 games. Start of 2018, which a bit of spoke about. It was a pretty tumultuous time, and it was same for me. I played that round 1, and then my best mate got hit by a truck cycling, and he passed away. So I was kind of on a similar journey to you that year in terms of my mental space. I reflected on that a little bit today. Like, I played round 1, Buddy kicked 8, which was awesome. Reflected on that over the last couple.
That was a good one to miss.
Yeah. And then I sort of was out of the team for that first year. I don't think I came back until round 10. You came back in round 5 and you didn't miss a game, including the flat.
Yeah.
So you played every game after playing 2, 4, and then. So there must have been a light switch, like a.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just from.
That's not very common. Like, people don't make that jump like that.
Yeah, well, as I said, like, with my preparation, I was physically prepared to play AFL footy a lot more. And then I think, as you probably know too, something just switches mentally, and it's like you kind of just think, like, almost like, fuck it. Yeah. I can do this now. Like, why am I stressing about? Like, I know I can do it. I'm good enough to do it. And
is it like confidence or something?
Yeah, confidence too. Like, and because I had the confidence in my body, which I hadn't previously had, to be able to be an AFL player. And then it was just the attitude of, like, I'm good enough to do this. Let's do it. Played a bit more free of mind, and then just played a couple good games early, and then Simo backed me in, and then I just held my spot, which was good.
Rising Star nomination.
Yeah, yes.
I didn't.
Did you play that game against North?
We lost.
I always play good when we lose. That's when I always play good, like my better games. But got a Rising Star nom, which is surprising.
I mean,
at 21 in my 3rd year.
I mean, like, your footy career in general, I read some stuff from your junior coach back in the day as well, and it's well summarised. And you said before, like, you're a jack of all trades, master of none. I actually think that's a good description of you as a footy player, because you're unremarkable, and that's not a bad thing. People don't say, oh, he's got a great mark, or he's got a great kick, or he's a high speed runner, but people also don't say you're a shit mark or a shit kick or a shit. There's not really anything that people can say.
You sort of don't want to be talked about.
Yeah.
If they're not talking about you, then you're obviously
unremarkable sounds like a bad way to describe it.
It does. I like it. No, I like it.
It's a good way to describe it, because you play your role. Your best game and your worst game, there's not a lot of difference. Like, and again, like, you may not get that Brownlow vote.
Yeah, I know. I want one though.
I want you to.
Yeah, I want one.
So, like, I just, that year to be able to put that together from, coming into the team and then not missing a game for 20 games effectively, like, it's an incredible achievement. So we go through that year, it's a good year, get to a prelim, we spank Melbourne, right? Now, again, I found out a few things today, Dan. Now, this is like tingly sort of stuff. So we play Melbourne, beat them by 66 points after what we just spoken about. What's your tattoo on your wrist?
66. It's my old man, Russ. Yeah, he played footy for Seymour. country footy, and started in the twos. And twos players get the shocking numbers, high numbers, 66.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's great. Barely fitting on the back of the
yeah. The old wrinkly, he hasn't been washed sort of jumper. And then once he got into the ones, just didn't want to change numbers. So
was he a backman by any chance?
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was.
Like
but he should literally
66.
No, just gets up I'm not changing numbers. Why would I upgrade my number?
Has the longest suspension in the history of the GVFL, 16 weeks. He was a fighter. King hit someone. But back then, back then it was my word against yours. So it was some copper's son, and he got 16 weeks suspension. Okay. But he was tough backman, and wore number 66. And ironically that day we beat Melbourne by 66 points in the prelim.
We beat Melbourne by 66 points. He's got a tattoo on his wrist, 66. It's his dad number to get us into a grand final. If you don't have tingles here and that, that is divine intervention of some description. That's nuts, crazy. So we win that prelim. Clearly a good game. It was pretty fun to play.
Incredible game. Best game ever. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I know. It was nuts.
I can't remember it at all, but I just remember doing nothing.
Yeah, you someone that remembers games?
Nah, it's just shocking memory of games.
Yeah, same. So I guess this podcast is going to be good over the next week. You remember this? Nah, not really. Sharad was the same last week. He was no, I don't really remember that. First game? No, I don't really remember that.
I think footy's taught me to just move on. So I kind of just try to forget about games, whether they're good or bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So it's don't matter.
Also, hopefully you have some memories of the grand final.
A few more, yeah.
So we win that prelim. What's the week like? You the youngest in the grand final team?
Venners.
Yeah,
I was just a year
so
older.
second youngest.
Yeah.
So what's it like as a 20-year-old going through grand final week in your third year of AFL?
Yeah, incredible. I felt like I was in a movie, and you boys were talking about it because you'd done it before. You were on Monday there's going to be 30,000 people at Walk Jog, and I was like, no, there's not. And rock up to the club, we're running laps of the oval, and there's 30,000 people there, and we're signing autographs for 45 minutes. I'm like, wow, this is going to be a big week. But, from what we spoke about in our meetings about just accepting it and getting on with it, it kind of went pretty quick, and I just tried to take the lead of the senior players most of the time, and for most that year, so I kind of just went through all chill, but it was pretty surreal.
Do you remember specific advice around the grand final week? Because in 2015, we had a few guys that had played in grand final. So Sharad had played in one, Sam Butler had played in one, maybe a couple of other guys, and I don't really remember a lot of advice, and that's not on those guys. They've both sat here as well. But 2018, I think we tried to make a point of speaking to people that hadn't played in the grand final to kind of embrace and accept what was going on during the week. I remember Kenner's doing a speech. Do you remember?
Oh wow!
Josh Kennedy did a speech in front of the group, basically. Accept the week. Embrace what's going on, but just accept it. Know what's happening, but we're here to win a game of football.
What was it?
Because he was a senior player, and he played poorly in 2015. He was held well by James Frawley, and he didn't contribute to the team like he would have usually wanted to. So he was hell bent on performing for the team, and he, older player, you want to win more than younger players.
I remember it was purely just about play your role. We're there to win a game, and we're there to win a game and get home. Don't worry about anything else around it. We just need to win the game of footy and get home. That's all we're there for.
Being a Victorian, we're ticket requests coming left, right, and centre at all.
Yeah, that was a bit of. Now I'm starting to have memories. Yeah, that was annoying. Hey, I'm pretty sure I dished that off to Lily, but yeah, I had all my close mates there, my family, and I ended up seeing them when I was running the lap of at the end, which was awesome. So,
do you remember the grand final parade? Who'd you sit next to?
I was with Duggo. Vaguely, I remember seeing just looking for my family the whole time. That was my whole one goal, just to find them in the crowd, and found them. That was
All the photos of you just scouring.
Yeah, squinted eyes.
How did you wake up day of the game? How can you remember driving to the game nervous? Can you remember getting there going holy shit, or does it feel like another game to you?
I get very nervous before games. So and I start on the bench every game. So I remember.
Tell us about both of those things.
I don't remember the bus ride or pre-game or anything, but so I start on the bench every game, and I get quite nervous. And it was me, Dom, Vards, and Venners, and we're usually in a normal game. It's like Dom's watching something on the laptop about stoppages. I'm on the phone to Praddy, just getting a message, but we were all just sitting there in silence, like biting our nails, just waiting for our name to get called to go on. And it was like one of the most nervous I've ever been to run into a field.
Really?
Yeah. And because they'd kicked a few goals, you're like watching the game and you're like, I can't do this. So that looks too hard.
So I know. Leading, we're about to do something else. But given that fact, most nervous you've been coming onto a field. I mean, you had a moment in the first quarter. That's your Instagram profile, so I'm not just bringing this up out of nowhere. Do you think that had something to do with it? I mean, given the fact you're sitting there so nervous, you come on, ball gets kicked into the forward 50, and you've played every game that year that you could have, and you're consistent, and you don't make mistakes. That's what Tom Cole's in the team for. That's actually why you're there. You drop a mark, James Simpson breathing down your neck, runs past, kicks a goal. Tell us about that moment.
Yeah. Look, it probably could have played a factor. I don't. No, you never know, but
I feel like
it probably could.
You haven't reflected on this
because I was very, and I do get nervous before games, especially because I stay on the bench, and when the game is real quick and I'm watching, I'm like, God, that looks hard. But so on reflection, it probably did. But the worst part about it was I read the flight of the ball so much better than him. Read the cues of the ball. He was 3 meters from me, and it was like just a simple chest mark. So that was the annoying part. But I quickly got on with it, because I think it was you and Bunga basically just come up and said, don't worry about it. Like, nothing. Nothing to, just don't worry about it. Who cares? Get on with it. And that was all I needed. And it's a grand final day, there's no point dwelling on things. So
does that surprise you? I know him and I know how his mind works and I kind of know how he operates. So I don't sit here and be like, oh my God. But I feel like as a fan, like someone listening that hasn't perhaps played at the level, hearing someone in a grand final, like the biggest moment of their career, they just dropped a mark and someone sprinted past, kicked a goal, that you wouldn't dwell on it, like that it wouldn't be in your mind just going fuck my life.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be hard to get that, especially being young and first grand final would be a lot of thoughts going through. And I do remember you, when I've watched the replay before, you running up to him and giving him just.
I would have said about 3 words, I reckon.
And then running on and.
When the game started getting close at the end, I was like, gee, if we lose by under a goal here.
Really?
I'm going to be pretty flat.
I mean, Bunga gave away 3 goals, I reckon, in that first quarter. He was spraying kicks and missing targets.
And JD dropped that mark. That's forwards v backs, drop a mark.
He was just looking. We spoke about Sheeta. He was just looking after Sheeta to make sure Sheeta kicks the winning goal. Jack Darling kicks that goal. We win by 11 points, and no one even remembers Sheeta. Like, who cares? Thanks, Jack. I think it's time, Dan.
Yeah.
You want to roll this out?
Yeah, we're
going to. A lot of preparation gone into this.
No, oh gosh! All right, we're going
to do the rest of this show.
We're going to do a little 2018 quiz. So he doesn't know the questions, so this is fair fight.
This is me v you.
Yep.
Apparently, I don't know anything about it. This is Dan and Charlie's baby.
It's some grand final. It's also just some general things about you guys playing together.
I feel confident about this, given Colley's just said he doesn't remember any games he's ever played in.
So the first one it probably sounds.
I don't either, if it's fair.
It might sound easier than it is, and we've got to make this quick because we've got a bit to get through. But first question, and you're going to take it in turns.
Sorry.
Oh, so you're
we're holding you up, are we?
I just don't want this to take 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Going to take it in turns. We're going to knock off every player on the list from 2018 grand final.
Oh, so it's the 22.
I'm more interested
first
to
one
see.
To stuff up?
First one to stuff up.
That should be it, right?
I'm more interested in seeing who's the last forgotten person. All right, so what you can start. All right, so
I'm going through every player.
We're one at a time.
All right, Liam.
No. Sorry. Are we going back and forth?
Yep, back and forth. So Liam Ryan.
No, hang on. Let him finish his
Liam
fucking
Ryan.
sentence.
Yeah.
There's 2 Liams in the team.
Okay.
I'll go with Tom Cole.
Okay. I'm marking him off here. So here you go.
Will Schofield.
All right. Yep. Will Schofield. Got that one.
Liam Duggan.
Tom Barrass.
Okay. Liam Duggan.
I feel like
Tom Barrass.
Do you remember McGovern?
Hang on a sec. Liam Duggan. I just want to make sure no one double ups or gets something wrong.
I'm marking them off as well.
Yeah. Okay.
You just listen. Listen, because this is ruining it because he's given more time. He said Barrass.
You said
I said McGovern.
Okay, McGovern, yep.
I said Hearn.
We've gone through all the backs. Jetta.
Okay.
Wait, did you say Duggo?
Yeah.
Oh, Hutch.
I don't know. I was thinking of him. Maston.
Vardy.
Yep.
Yo.
Yep.
Lysaght.
Yep.
Shuey.
Yep.
Redden.
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy.
Yep.
Cripps.
Check.
Darling.
Check.
Rioli.
Yep.
Lost my train of thought a little bit.
I got one more. That's all.
Lost my train of thought. Oh, Venables. No, you said him straight up, didn't you? Did you say
No,
straight
I
up?
said
Venables.
No. Yeah, Venables is still available. Yep.
Lacroix.
Yep.
Very good.
Are we missing any, Charlie?
Cripps. Did you say Cripps?
Yeah,
So
Cripps has been said.
Hang on. Don't say who hasn't been said. Just say it.
There's
How many are left?
I have 2 left on the list, and they're not small names.
Yeah, we're missing
Dan,
some
have
big
you
ones. No,
Oh,
two.
I know.
I
I know.
stopped-
who
I
we're
stopped
missing.
deleting
Oh,
them.
do
Okay.
I think I know who we're missing.
We've said Shuey. Just
Yeah.
just in
Yeah,
case.
you said Shuey. Oh, okay, you've got 1 left, I think.
Yeah, I reckon we're missing one. Oh, gosh. And you know who it is.
I think I do.
Go on.
I'm going to give up. I don't know.
Is it? Did we say Sheed?
You didn't say
I thought it was Dom.
Very good.
He was the forgotten eagle.
Is that 20?
That's the list.
That's hilarious.
And Dom Sheed was the last person to come to mind.
He's irrelevant anyway.
Yeah.
That is fucking hilarious. Yeah, thanks for nothing, Cheater.
All right, this is for Will.
That was very good.
How many disposals did Cole get in the grand final?
Oh, not a lot. Not a big possession getter, Coley. Probably got more than me, though.
I don't know.
12.
Wrong.
Close.
Close. 13. How many did Will get?
100.
I don't know. He's good though.
It's not an answer.
10.
Close.
9?
You got
it
9.
nine?
Yeah, you got 9. So you're both the same. There's equal points
Good,
given
good.
out there.
So Coley's in front right now. Okay.
Yep. So this is for Tom. Scully topped the stats in one category in the 2018 grand final. What was it?
One-on-one contest wins.
That could have been it, but that's not
I
the
don't
right
have
answer.
champion data, but yeah.
Is it just...
Oh, just like an AFL.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I know it. Time
Yeah.
on ground.
Yep.
Yeah,
Same
baby.
time on ground, yeah.
I should know.
All right. What was Tom's percentage of time on ground?
Oh, well, he starts on the bench, so not 100%.
You were the only one with 100%.
No, not once. There's a stat somewhere there, like greatest of all time. Whatever. Well, so how the rotations work in the back line, it would have definitely been the same at the start of the second half. So he would have started on the bench. Pretty sure it would have been close to almost every quarter. Maybe not though. So we're going to go with
us a number.
87%.
Very close. 82.
I mean, it's not that close, is it?
I beat 5%. All right. This is for Will. How many games did Tom play in 2018?
20.
Keep getting close. It was 21.
21.
I fucking read that today. Someone's written it wrong because I read 20.
I'll double check.
Maybe it was 20. Maybe it was 20 in a row, and it was before the grand final. The interview was.
Yeah.
Nah, it was. 100% was perfect.
All right. How many games did Will play in 2018?
Oh, that's a question, Coley. I'm going to see if I can
Play round 1.
I did play one game, and I played the grand final.
Yeah.
Played the granny. Played the prelim. Played my Rising Star game. I'd say 14.
Glad you went the overs.
I think
How
it's 12.
Yeah, it's 12. Well done. All right. This is for both of you.
For buzzer, like,
Now, whoever gets closest to this number,
okay, closer to the pin.
closest to the pin. Yep. How many games have you played together in total? Not
Oh.
2018, but altogether.
Yeah.
So Coley's played 74 games. I reckon I've played in 54 of them.
Okay. Coley?
No, I'm not saying that many. I reckon like 40.
Love
Both-
the silence in this podcast.
Both went way overs.
way overs.
26.
Wow.
All right. For
You know what?
It was those waffle
Every-
games.
yeah. I feel like I'm more connected to Coley than I actually am.
For a bonus point, and this is whoever gets close to this, how many of those 26 did you win? We'll go one each here. Whoever gets closest.
Well, so 12 of them 12 of them had to be in 2018 because he played every game apart from round one, which was a loss. So at least 11. I'm going to go with 18.
15.
15's
15
correct.
win.
Whoa!
Yeah. Tom wins.
Absolutely, he wins, mate. Dom Sheed, 15. Like, all over.
I was just thinking 2020, we lost a few. 2018, we lost a few in the back half too.
Yeah, well,
I thought we were way more successful than that, man.
I thought we played way more together.
Yeah, you went. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what that tells you, but while we're on statistics, I'll finish off on this one. Sir Swamp Thing, friend of the family. Do you know this one? This
About me?
This is quite good, yep.
Follow him though.
Toms, plural, Cole and Barras are the only West Coast Eagles players to have won a VFL AFL premiership before having kicked a career goal. So the only
Really?
player out of 92, 94, 2006, 2018 to have played in those games and won without kicking a career goal. So you were goalless before 2018. Do you remember your first goal?
Yeah. Do you remember it? Did you play?
Yeah, I'm just asking you to tell the story about it.
mate.
2020,
2020.
Set the scene.
V Essendon
Gold Coast.
in the Gold Coast, in the hub. Yep. Playing a different role that week. Playing on the wing, on the red wing. I don't know. Yeah, Masto and he was he talking about the red wing at all when he was
Yeah.
Well, that was I was playing Masto's role that week, and I was getting pretty tired of it.
So the fat side of the ground.
Yeah, the just away from the ball, so far away from the ball, and
Near the ball, run away from it.
yeah, so far, and I just decided that I was sick of running defensively, so I just held forward a little bit, and then we Jet Boy knocked it on the wing to Liam. Liam kicked to JD, and I was just fanging it down to the goal square, and JD's backed me in, kicked to me in a 1-on-1, body Dyson Heppel quite nicely, took a little grab.
How far out were you?
15 metres on the boundary. No, not on the boundary. Bit in.
45.
Yeah, tiny angle. You shouldn't miss it. Almost marked in the goal square. And yeah, took my time. I was like, because I've obviously never kicked a goal, never even had a set shot in my whole 6 years at the club. I was trying
kick at goals.
in AFL. Oh no, I had one. I missed it. I was just trying to think about what JK would do. So I put the ball on the ground, wiped my hands, took my mouth guard out.
You didn't have a routine.
No, I didn't have a routine. I was like, don't just rush it. Just do it. What would JK do? Just stand there, put the ball on the ground, pretend I'm taking a deep breath,
Throw some grass.
Yeah. And then, slotted it and I probably carried on a little bit more. Yeah. And I've always said, I'll never do that. I'll run to the boys and business. But I just got so excited because X O'Neill looked at me and gave me this face and
Crying.
I was like, yeah.
Got tears in his eyes.
All the boys were happy for you.
Didn't you go on a streak?
3 in a row.
Yeah. So he's kicked his first, and then he's proceeded. He never had a shot in his life. Proceeded to kick a goal in the next 2 games, 3 in a row. Yeah.
1 up. We played St Kilda the next week. Got a free kick, fake getting hit in the guts by Brad Hill after the siren.
After the siren.
End of the game.
End of the game. We were already winning, but just a bit of icing on the cake. And then the next week against the Doggies, crucial part of the game, we were up to put us up.
Remember this.
Liam did
We
some
ended up
magic.
losing. Bond started kicking goals from 70 on the boundary.
Yeah, Liam did some magic, centered it to me when he. I don't
These
know.
all
I
from
don't even
the
know how
wing.
he saw me.
Kicking all these goals from the wing.
Yeah, from the wing. I was playing on the wing for a bit, and then kicked another one. So I'm 3 from 4 set shots.
Well, after some memories there about your set shots and some memories that you dominated me in the quiz. Do you remember where you were when the siren went in the grand final?
Yeah,
Premiership?
I always think I was right near you, right next to
I
you.
don't know. I don't know the answers. It's your
Well, the end of I'm supposed to end quarters on in close games. I'm supposed to be on the bench that year.
Start on the bench, finish on the bench.
Not finish on the bench in a normal game, but in a close game like when we beat Port after the siren, I'm on the bench. Any close game we had that year, I'm on the bench at the end. Me, Venners, Dom, and probably Vards. The people who start on the bench, they're finishing on the bench if it's close.
Yeah.
So I'd come to the bench with 5 minutes to go. Feet up, beautiful. If we lose this game, it's not my
So
fault.
you're on the bench when Shady kicked the goal?
No. I come back on. So I was supposed to be on the bench, and then Bunga split himself open, and they needed They were trying to get him. He had to come off. I had to go on. Then they wanted me to come back off, but I couldn't get there. So Duggo went off in the end. So I ended up on the ground, and I was when the siren went, the ball got surged right towards me, and there was DeGoey, Stevenson. Whoever else was the fastest person ever streaming at the ball, and I'm like, oh no. But Yowie grabbed it and booted it back, and then siren went, and I was with all the Bulls, and I got caught in the middle of that big group huddle cuddle of all the bulls like couldn't breathe. You can't even see me in the photo. You can just see my legs.
There's a picture of Brass, McGovern, Hearn, me.
Yeah.
And then there's just legs
Just
in the
legs at
middle.
the bottom.
Yeah, I'm like, couldn't breathe. I was just like screaming to get out of it. But yeah, like best moment, like so much just joy and excitement. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I was running around like a headless chook.
Explain it. You're on a podcast. How do you feel?
Oh, as I said, like, just utter joy. Like, I didn't know where to look, what to do. I was just running around, like, so happy.
Did you see your family when you were going around the boundary?
Yes, saw my family and Lily and all my mates.
What was that moment like?
Yeah, it was pretty special. Probably still more excitement at that point. I reckon after that, so we'd done a couple of laps and whatnot. We were waiting to go back into the rooms. I had a little bit of a moment to myself where I just kind of reflected on the whole year, really. Like, obviously been a big year with my old man passing away. Bit of a career-defining year for me. Like, if I didn't go good that year, maybe you never know. I could have been done with my footy career at the end of the next year. So it was a bit of a moment of reflection. Just proud of where I'd come from and proud of my family. Like, proud to do it for my old man. Like, I had to look up at the sky, like a little moment by myself. It was pretty special. To know he was watching over me, because every game that year was, I'd look at my wrist, and that's why I put it on my wrist to think about that. Footy's bigger than winning and losing. I was doing it for him the whole year, and it was pretty special. Yeah. After all the joy and excitement and getting strangled, it was I had a little moment to myself, and it was pretty cool.
Do you remember being in the rooms afterwards? Like, do you remember the singing Sweet Caroline? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure your memory's all there, mate.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. After we sung the song and everyone was standing in that the room and everyone was getting interviews and stuff, I kind of just snuck out of there and just went and sat in the change rooms with all the waffle boys. And,
Did ya?
And had a few beers, because I was like, I need to get out of here. I got a few photos with the family, but then I was like, I'm not doing any of that. I need to just get back into the locker room. So I sat with all the waffle boys, Rothy and all my boys, and had a beer. And then everyone else come in and the antics started, and they didn't stop for a while. So
I didn't mention to either Ryan Davis or Sharrod Wellingham, but I just remembered as I was talking about that. So had this moment in the rooms after the flag where there's literally, you cannot move. It's it's like hippie club on a Tuesday night, mate. You cannot move. You cannot move. And there's, every family member, anyone that's at the ground that kind of feels like they know you, they try to get in, and they eventually get in. And there's just
I would have been there trying to get in.
Packed, right? My family couldn't get in. I spent 10 minutes out of the room because the security guard at the MCG wouldn't let my family in. Imagine how I was acting.
My God.
I was going off my
security
I'm
guard,
in my fucking playing outfit. I've got my brother, his wife, and my niece and nephew, my mum, like my other brother, his kids. And they're at the front of the line. The security guard, don't have passes, mate. They're not coming through. No. And I'm like, here's your fucking pass, mate. Here's my medal and my jumper. They're coming in genuinely about to fight him. Like, so angry. Eventually got him through and blah, blah, blah. But you're in this room and so much going on. There's every media person in the world is in there. It's crazy. It's like lunacy. It's almost not fun. It's like everyone's saying, good on you, mate. Like, grabbing your headlock. Yeah, love you. I taught you everything you knew.
Yeah, that's anyway, what I tried to get out.
Eventually, when it's over, we got into the rooms and there's that footage of Sweet Caroline. It was the 22. And I remember, it's probably a sad one. I should have asked both of them literally back to back on this podcast the last 2 weeks. The last two people other than the 22 were Sharrod Wellingham and Ryan Davis in that room with the boys.
Singing with us?
Yeah, they had to get, they asked them to leave. They pretty much, because they just wanted the 22 in there.
Yeah.
And so I just thought of that. Thought I'd just share it. Yeah,
was there anyone that you had to sort of keep bringing into the moment that was sort of like, some people in those times when it's like that good, they sort of check out and they're a bit of a stunned mullet. Was there anyone that was like,
or maybe Coley by the sounds of it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Were you sort of the one that had to keep going like, mate, this is a good time?
No, I was all in when it was the Sweet Caroline. Don't get me wrong. I was loving that. It was just like when there was so many people and I got a photo with my family. I was like, this is a bit much. I just wanted to sit with a few of the boys. So I went back into the change room. All the boys who didn't play that day were sitting in there having a beer, and that's one memory I do have. So it was pretty special.
Yeah, reminds me of and I love Dirk Nowitzki, Dallas Maverick legend. After the 2011 championship, siren goes, the buzzer goes, they've won the championship. He bolts off and goes and sits in the change room by himself. Doesn't want anything to do with all the carry on. He's like, just needed a moment. He just wanted to escape and
straight off.
Yeah, literally, he's like charging over.
Yeah, that's a bit look at me, I reckon. Like that'd be like
No,
you
no,
literally
he's-
siren
no,
going, running.
If you know Dirk Nowitzki like I know Dirk Nowitzki, he's like he's getting out. He just doesn't want to be a
How
part
do you
of
know Dirk? You
Mates.
and Dirk?
it. Yeah, let's keep going.
It's like me and Dan Ricardo. Mates. Yeah, very good. Lovely memories. Not sure what I want to finish on here. Top 10 in the best and fairest last year.
Yeah, 9th. Yep.
Top 10. Let's
Take it. Yeah.
Mate, big ups.
Doesn't matter if
Defenders
you're
in the
second
top
or
10.
I know. I don't know if there's any others, but yeah, we'll take it. Still no defender highlights on the night, but we're getting there.
So there's a thing that I have generously left with the playing group. Every best and fairest year, I'd sit there. They'd play highlights through the whole night. Rounds 1 to 12, and we're going to do the votes, and they play a highlight package. Every year, it's midfielder. Nick Nat taps to Shuey. Shuey kicks to Kennedy. Kennedy goes back and kicks a goal. Liam Ryan snaps a goal. Willie rarely does this.
But what are they going to show? Like a punch?
Fucking oath you're going to show a punch. Throw some physical contact, mate. Are you kidding me? They don't show any backs highlights.
Putting your hands up while the forward's going for goal.
It's a serious issue I have with best and fairest, mate. They do not. How do you think games are won, mate? Well, mids and forwards kicking goals. Any team can do that, mate. You need to be able to defend a goal, especially when these absolute plebs fuck it up the ground.
Spoiling's harder than what you think. Watch anyone that's not a back try and spoil the ball.
If you put Josh Kennedy in the back line and said, mate, don't let your man mark it, his man would have 20 possessions in the first quarter. First of all, Josh Kennedy loses his ability to think past halfway. That's another thing, West Coast fans. You want to see something funny? Josh Kennedy finds himself higher up the ground and gets the ball in his back half. Watch him lose his ability to actually think, not logically think. He gets panicky. He starts like trying to play on, and he looks a bit like Brad Shepherd when he used to get the ball and try to kick the short one. But then he's like, I can't do that. Tries to kick it on the full. It happens every time. Doesn't happen often, but every time it does.
Yeah, have a look at that.
A couple of funny ones to finish off, mate. I asked if you'd order a fillet of fish. We know that answer. You can't hold back the spew. I hear you sunbake regularly in your backyard, surrounded by dog shit.
Not surrounded by dog shit. If I sunbake there, I'll admit that. Love sunbaking.
Yes.
I like getting a good tan. Not surrounded by dog shit. The only time there's dog shit all through the yard is when I haven't been home for a few days and Lily won't pick it up.
But then, do you go and sunbake in it?
No, I'll pick it up before I proceed to lay my towel down and sunbake. I would have thought.
And the final one, you rate yourself as a water skier, mate. I thought that might have popped out in the top 10, moments. You big water skier?
Don't get me started. I love
Please
water
start
skiing.
and finish.
Yeah, love water
This
skiing.
is the last question you're going to get one-on-one. Then you go to social media.
Love water skiing. Well, in Warrnambool, there was the Hopkins River, which is just around the corner from where we lived. We would ski twice a week. And then summer was Echuca, which is an hour from Bendigo, Lake Epilog. Oh, yes. Love skiing.
Don't name all these. This is
Love skiing.
This is like a surfer talking about, Bells Beach and Winky Pop and down there. Cyclops.
When you asked me to...
CO2.
When you asked me to do my non-footy sport achievement, I wanted to say something about skiing, but there's no achievements. I just rate myself.
A quick drive-by to finish, actually. Surfing. You much of a surfer? I've heard you're a bit of Kelly Slater in you.
I've had one attempt. Went down with Jacko Nelson, good mate of mine, and he gave me the longest board in history. It would have been 4 meters long. We're at Trig. Took me about 15 minutes to paddle out there.
The kayak.
Oh, so big. Took me about 15 minutes to paddle out there. Triceps are blown up. So hard to turn the board around. And I sat out there we were out there for an hour. Didn't catch one wave. Just sat there and watched the locals go and then said, I'm going to paddle in, Jacko. And he said, you can't paddle in, mate. That's embarrassing. You got to try catch one. I was like, no, I'm paddling in. I'm too scared to try go down one of these waves.
So how did you get in?
I paddled in, yeah.
So Jacko tells the story. It's very similar, actually. Had no idea what he was doing out in a kayak out the back of Trig. Anyway, Jacko caught a few waves and he paddled out and he was like, where's Coley? I can't see him. He looks up. Coley's drifting out to Roddo. He's literally halfway to Roddo. Doesn't know how to paddle the board. So he's sitting out there watching the locals, but he's just getting further and further away. He's stuck in a rip. He's literally in the shipping lanes.
Mate,
He's had a gauge roast.
I will never do it again. And I was like, I'll be not bad at this. I've water skied before. I would have said that to Jacko too, mate. I've water skied. This will be easy. This will be a piece of piss. And I was like,
I've water skied before. I've seen water before. I drink it all the time. I'll be fine surfing.
I tried to paddle up to one wave, and I looked down. It looked like it was like 100 meters down there. I was like, nah, this isn't for me, Jacko. I'm paddling. And then he was kind of looking for me too. Once I paddled in, he's like, where is he? And I was just sitting up on the shore with the board, like sitting on my kayak.
The board, like in the photos with the board stuck in the sand. taking selfies of himself with the waves in the background. Yeah, sick surf. All right, now here we go. Social media, brought to you by Cameo, Coley. Now, I don't know if you know that Cameo is a sponsor of this podcast, Coley, but I had a bit of a look around. Usually the guest may or may not be on Cameo. Well, let me tell you, people, Tom Cole is very much on Cameo. How much do you pay for a little 30 to 60 second video from Tom Cole? 2018 premiership player, 9th in the best and fairest last year, has been described by a former teammate of his as, how did I describe his football career?
Underwhelming.
No.
What was it?
Unremarkable.
Unremarkable, sorry, not underwhelming.
How much do you pay for a 30-second video for that? Honestly. I mean, okay, I'll ask it a different way. How much do we pay for a foot message from Dan Const at the moment?
$10.
How much are they going for?
Yeah, $10.
Dan's on Cameo.
Yeah. How many? Yeah, I've done 4 in the last week and a half. 4
feet video. So Dan's been getting feet requests.
I've had those too.
Yeah, I've had them too as well. But Dan's been doing them.
I've been doing them?
No, I've not been doing them because they want my face.
It's a market for it.
Both times they've asked my face.
How much Australian dollars are we paying for a foot video from you?
They said they'll give me PayPal straight up $75. That was about a minute and a half. Wow. Shoes on, then take your shoes off, wriggle your toes in your socks, take your socks off, show us your feet.
I'm here to tell you, Tom Cole's on Cameo for 85 Australian
without
dollars.
fees.
That's more than that. I'm about, I don't know what I am. Charlie, what am I? Can you have a quick look at what I'm worth on Cameo, mate?
You're $49.
Cheap, mate. Cheap
There's a theory behind my price.
Tell me. People want to listen. People want to sign in.
If they want to hear it, like, they can pay top dollar for it. If they really want it, I'm only going to get my real fans. If I put it at $30, which is probably my value, my market value. Yeah. Then I'd get more, but I wouldn't get my real fans. If I put it at $80, someone's like, "Oh, I really want to see him. I'm going to pay $80 for him." I don't get as many, but I'm like, I don't care. No, I'm going for it.
So you're $54.
Okay, more expensive than I thought I was. Yeah. You on there yet, Charlie?
No, I'm not. But if there's a need, if there's a want for Charlie on Cameo,
I'm going about one every 6 months. So yeah,
good. Well, if you'd like to add to that, jump onto Cameo, Charlie. I'd like you signed up, and you just make sure you leave some for the rest of us, though, mate, because you are high in demand.
I might even do the feet videos. Who knows?
Roaming BackChat. We did Derby edition. That go well, Kat and Charlie?
Oh, went great. Lots of punters upset and happy.
You seen this, Tommy Cole? Yes, I'm sure it's doing the rounds at the footy club.
I have seen it, yes.
While we're talking about this, before we get into social media, we did do an April Fool's joke this week, just gone. And we've named some high-profile GOTs. Hayden Ballantyne, Andrew Embley, Michael Barlow. I forgot a couple. And they were current members of the West Coast Eagles. Tommy Cole, did you or did you not get done by my April Fool's joke? Our April Fool's joke.
Unfortunately, yes. I can confirm that I got done. It was well planned out. I will give you that. And
who else? So name some other names.
Well, I was in a group chat with Alex Witherden, who was the one who broke it to us.
Gone.
Jack O'Nelson, Dan Venables, Jake Waterman, and Josh Rotham.
Gone. Bye, boys.
And there was heavy discussions until the following morning when we figured out that it was April.
So this was the day before.
Day before when Ryan Daniels broke it, we were like, God, what's going on here? Like,
did somebody send a text to a coach or something to find out?
I'm not sure if the coaches got involved, but you definitely got a few of the boys.
I got a phone call from Tom Barras saying, mate, I don't know if I'm playing this week or not. Are you in? Are you in for me? It's like, yeah, mate. Yeah, it's all happening. And he was absolutely done and dusted. And I said, what's the date today? 1st of April. Still didn't know what was going on. Absolutely no idea.
I really didn't want to admit it to you, but yeah, you got us.
I love it. Okay, let's start this one off with a familiar name, I think. Danny Elio.
Can Lil Burke cook?
This is from Danny.
Yes, my fiancée Lily is a very good cook.
Is she?
Cooks once a week, but so I'm the other 6 nights. So I'm the more consistent cook, but when she cooks, she puts on a good meal. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
No, she's good.
So it wasn't a setup for
No.
you to... Okay.
Oh, sucked in, Daddy. That's
Yeah.
Luke Shuey's wife, by the way. T.Money97.
Tom Cole stopped my ripstick.
No, read it properly. It said stop. Does that say stop, does it?
Stole.
No, it said stop.
Yeah, Tom Cole stole my ripstick in year 10. He told everyone it wasn't him, but 2 weeks later he rocked up to school and you could see where he tried to erase my initials.
What's his name?
T-Money.
T-Money 97.
You stealing ripsticks out here, mate?
T-Money.
What was a ripstick again?
It
They're a great contraption.
Is that the
Yeah.
one?
You
You
swivel
wiggle
the
your
hips.
hips
Yeah,
and
wiggle
all
the
You
that.
seem to
hips.
know a lot about him.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I love the ripstick. I don't remember.
Would you do anything to ride one?
Oh yeah, I love the ripstick.
So you'd possibly steal one to...
If I had lost my ripstick, I would have stolen one. But from memory, and I know I've said my memory's bad, so Team Money could be on the money. But I don't think I stole his ripstick. I think that's fake news.
Okay, fake news, potentially. Gavro, 543. There's a little underscore in there too. We like that.
I'd like to know if Scoey wet his pants when he got to interview Brayshaw yesterday and no mention of BackChat.
Yeah, so
Not
we
happy about
did
that.
Fox Footy Boundary yesterday, Coley, and had a little back chat bet on, and he's in my fantasy team, he's my fantasy captain, and the calls come down from the producers, you got to interview one player, who would you like? And I said, I want Brayshaw. I want to tell him that he actually salvaged my fantasy, but he didn't get to 30 touches. No, I didn't speak about any of that. It's actually a very surreal feeling interviewing. Like, I interviewed Simo and Jamie Graham pre-game, right? So Jamie Graham was a coach of mine at West Coast for like 10 years. Simo, my head coach, premiership coach. Like, being on the other side, it was a surreal. It was, because I know them so well, it was weird. And then when I get to interview players on the ground, I feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Washed up? No, I feel like I shouldn't. Yeah, it's just a weird feeling.
Well, like, you're not allowed to talk to them.
No, because like I've been the player, and so I've been interviewed, so I know how it feels, and so it's just a strange dynamic for me. Like, I kind of have like a bit of an outer body, like, this is weird that I'm doing this, because I've been on the other side, and now I'm here in a suit on the ground. I'm a bit awkward. Or something.
Like,
What am I actually
what does
doing
this
here?
bloke think of me?
Yeah. Like, I interviewed Jack Steele the week before, like the captain of St Kilda, and I really felt like removed from the situation where, like, 2 years prior I'd been playing on him, tackling him, and I was his peer, but now I'm just like, poor man's Matt Pavlich
So you're
on
a
the
bit,
sideline.
you're a bit starstruck.
It feels, honestly,
You're out of your comfort area.
not comfort, but I'm like starstruck. I'm like, even Andy Brayshaw, like, he's 10 years younger than me. Like, no offense, Andy Brayshaw, great player, but like some pleb for Freo. But what's he done? But I'm like in awe. I'm like, talking to Andy Brayshaw, just had 26 touches. Like, how good?
Not
And I'm this pleb media guy. So yeah, anyway.
You're reading into it too much, I reckon.
Marshy.O'Meara.
Tom Cole's hidden talent.
So this was asked by a few people.
Skiing.
You got a hidden talent that we should know about here, mate?
Well, skiing, just been said.
It's not hidden anymore.
Ripstick.
And I was going to say I'm a good dancer, but that's not hidden anymore after the video you showed earlier before.
Boy.
So
Yeah, you make sure.
nothing's hidden anymore these days, is it? So
Nothing.
no, I have got nothing for you.
Oh, perfect.
I'm an
Literally,
open-
like 6 people asked it. I just assumed this was just a well-known.
I'm an open
secret.
book. I'm an open book.
Okay. Camsaland.
How do you stay motivated when you have such a long-term injury?
That's a good question.
You're sleeping in a moonbird at the moment, to give people an idea. You're wearing it right now. There's no shots under the table, but
Yep. I've been in a movement for 5 weeks now. Hopefully 1 week to go. Fingers crossed. And then no running for another 6 weeks, and then hopefully back sometime after midway point of the year. But I suppose with rehab, this is my first long-term injury. It's my first time doing it, but I suppose it's just taking little wins. Like, I'm getting out of the moon boot in a week, and that's going to be a massive game changer for me. So when that happens, then I can exercise a bit more, which, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. It's just about like achieving the little things along the way. And then I suppose with a longer term injury, I'm just trying to keep busy away from the club. I'm studying uni, so I'm diving into that a bit more, doing a few more units and trying to keep myself busy. So you can't really do much about injuries, and I've always just been like, it is what it is, so I can't really change it, and I'll just ride the punches. And look at the little wins, like getting out of the moon boot and being able to shower properly and
Have you
sleep
got
properly.
a bunch of guys with you? Is rehab group you get the moment at West Coast?
Yeah, pretty big, but a lot of them are returning soon. So I'm kind of a bit disconnected. Chess has gone home for a little period, but once he gets back, we'll be on pretty much the exact same program, and we'll get to become good mates.
Up, Yo's building up, Oscar Allen's building up. So you're really. Have you got a partner in crime?
Not at the moment. Sheeta was my partner for a bit. He just got out of the moon boot a few days ago.
That's what's important about being injured. Not that I've done it a whole lot either, but like having at least one person that you can be like, how much did that suck that session? Or
Well, me and Sheeta have been hanging out a lot. Like we live around the corner from each other, so we've been spending a bit of time together recently. So we've been leaning on each other. Yeah, he's got the left moon boot on. I got the right one, so we're just sharing shoes.
Liv_Floro.
I bumped into Masto at the Derby, literally. Well, actually, he bumped into me, lined me up from about 10 metres out, bang, almost spills his popcorn, then mumbles a little apology. What's the biggest hit you've ever dished out, and did you ever feel sorry for the bloke you hit? Also, what's the biggest hit you've copped?
You dishing out hits out?
I was about to say, I'm about 78 kilos, 187 centimetres. I don't reckon I've laid someone out my whole football career. And I was always that small kid growing up. So, like, I wasn't big. I was always the one getting laid out. And
being hit?
I haven't been, like, punched, but
No, like, big bump, big hit, big tackle.
Last year, if you want to look in the middle of my eyebrows here, I ran into Josh Rotham and...
that's right.
Yeah, created a little monobrow for myself and split myself open. That's probably the biggest one yet. I wasn't concussed or anything, but yeah, I was a bit rattled there. Me and Rothy ran into each other.
We might, off the back of the extended eyebrow, go to the very last question here, Dan, from I am Jeff Self here.
What a stitch up. Are you related to Tony Gallardi?
I wish. Tony seems like a great man. And on the back of the hit last year after I hit it and my eyebrow was connected, I had one eyebrow, I was going to do a photo shoot with Tony Gallardi and Spudshed.
Well, they were lining it up.
They wanted me, but I couldn't do it because of COVID in the end. We had to go on a hub.
Oh, my
I know. God. And no one... so when I first got to the club, the boys tried to start calling me Spud, and I had no idea what it meant at the start. I was like, who? Tony
You've got
Gallardi.
some good nicknames.
Yeah.
Virat.
Anything
else?
Spud.
Coley.
Spud.
That's
it. Yeah, Spud. And JK to this day still calls me Spud. That's about it.
We got 3 left here, Daniel.
All right.
Number 1 is _DJB_79.
Thoughts on Naishi taking your number?
Love it.
Great.
Love it.
Was he wearing 28?
Yeah, 28.
They don't have a number for him.
No, he was...
There's been some swapping of numbers going around. I saw someone running around 31. It was Declan Mount. No, was it Mountford running in 31? I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. Well, they had the 43 jumper, which is Naishi's official number. He's a large. Yeah, and he's like smaller than me. Yes. So, and I wear a small, so he had to wear mine.
You wear a small?
Because he was wearing Westies.
Hang on. You wear a small?
Yeah, like real tight.
You like it tight?
Yeah, like Jet Boy.
Do you wear a small?
Small. I was a medium, and last year I changed to a small to make it tighter.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I would like to also just so the West Coast Eagles, one of the most successful clubs in AFL history, yes. Right? You're telling me that they had to change number because they didn't have the right size.
Mate, because Naish got added like 6 weeks ago. Like they can't just.
He got added the week.
Yeah, but like what? That doesn't make sense that they can't. They don't just have like copious amounts of everything ready to go.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, like one thing I was going to ask, and maybe you can shed light. I will be able to about jumper sizing because it's a thing. At the start of the year, you do a mouthguard sizing and you do jumper sizing. So I used to have extra large, long, so I could extend like 5 centimeters. So is yours a small long?
No, not long.
Because like Mickey Barlow was a big one. He used to get the ride up and he used to have his guts hanging out in every photo. Yeah, it's like he didn't have a long enough jumper. Like add your 5 centimeters. Like that's something that people don't know. You get to choose your size. You do jumper fit outs.
Yeah, no, I'm not a long guy. I don't like it.
Well, it doesn't sound like you're small.
Yeah, small and no extra length, just a small. Yeah.
You just want it painted on.
Yeah, I want it real tight. Yeah.
Let's have a look at that. We're gonna have a bit of a look back. I think that's a very good little bit of insight there. Now 2 to go. Saxon_Soundness.
Do you feel that you model your game off prime Will Schofield?
Do you know what? Probably.
Yeah.
we were talking about the 2017 year we were talking about before. Me and Scully played a lot of waffle together. So, and Scully, along with a lot of the backs are in that age bracket where when I got there were like, not so much in the leadership group or that of the club, but were leaders of the back line and just leaders in their own right, and taught a lot of us younger boys how to, one, play footy, and two, how to live your life. And Scully was one of those in particular because he was in the back line and taught me about winning contests as a key to being a backman. And then after that, everything else will just fall into place. And that's what I think Scully's done pretty well throughout his career. And that's what not just me, but a lot of backmen try and do. All you got to do is win your contest, and the rest will kind of.
Did I specifically teach you that, or did you just learn that from being around? I'm just interested because I don't know what I've taught you. So I
didn't seek it from you and say, "Can you please teach me this?"
How do I do
we'll
this?
just like walk around and write this down.
It's
lesson 6.
It's not so much teaching. It's like if you don't win contests, like people aren't going to respect you. So it's like just win contests and you'll be fine. And that's just not Scully. You look at all our good defenders; they all just win contests.
You sort the rest of it out.
Yeah.
No one really cares if you can't kick or run or like seriously, like every backman that's ever played has their deficiencies, your weaknesses. But if you win contests, at least you can always fall back on that. Like, oh, did he beat me? No. Okay. Well, I can't kick. Well, who cares? Like, I did read a scouting report from someone before you got drafted, and it made me piss. It was like, Tom did a lot of things well. Worse than best games, weren't far apart. He lacked a bit of penetration on his kick at times. So one thing about Tom Cole you won't know is the least penetrating kick in the AFL. A lot of backspin, a lot of loft. Can't kick over 30 metres. Nah. Maybe 35.
Within 35, I'm all right. But this is like one of my biggest fears is if this is why
I didn't for the season from 42 metres out.
This is why I didn't want to be on the ground at the end of the granny. Like if I got a free kick and I was 48, the guy was 47 metres out on the mark, and I had to kick it from 52. I'm not making the distance.
So the last quarter, you have that the moment in the first quarter of the grand final, and Jaden Stephenson runs you down, kicks a goal, blah, blah, blah. The last quarter, you take a mark, coming back with a flight, a good moment in the grand final, you get a 50-metre penalty. Are you thinking as you're running down the ground, geez, I hope this doesn't take me within goal kicking range? Because the man in the mark wasn't that far out from goal.
Yeah, he was about 52.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke Shuey, as I was walking down, he's like, mate, if you can kick it. And I was like...
Literally, there's like 5 minutes, like 10 minutes to go on the last quarter.
Right. I was like, what do you mean, mate? I was no way I'm making the distance here. Like,
could you take it?
But I acted like, kind of like took my time, and I was like, I'll pretend like I'm having a shot. But like, no, I'm not having a shot. I can only kick it
sideways through the air.
I can kick it 47 metres.
All right, we're going to finish this last one off. One of my favourite social medias of the week, Jake, Waterman _
Hey, Tom, would you consider yourself a pipsqueak or a weasel?
Jake. Come on, Jake.
This is a question that often gets asked around the club, and it originates from Dom Sheed's brother Alex, and he likes to ask people that exact question, and it just kind of leaves you thinking like, what do you think of me, mate? Like, so
what's the answer?
So I'm not going to entertain Jake's question because I would have been the one to say that to him first, so he needs to stop stealing my jokes, to be honest.
That's very good. You're done. You're all caught.
What would you think that you are? More of a pipsqueak?
What do you think you are? I'd say
weasel.
I'd say weasel for you too. It's a shocking no. What are you, Charlie?
I'd say pipsqueak.
Yeah, you're pipsqueak. Kat, what are you doing over there? You're weasel or pipsqueak?
Pipsqueak.
Yeah, yeah. And you say it like that? Yeah, no, fair enough. I'm probably a weasel. Yeah, probably a weasel. You're the only person left in.
I'm not entertaining this.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I loved it.
I hate entertaining Dom's jokes.
Been a pleasure. Thanks for the chat, mate. Hope you enjoyed your waters. We certainly enjoyed our whippersnappers. They were beautiful, weren't they, Dan?
Very good. Thanks for letting us have more.
You can find Tom, Dan, and myself on Cameo. You might be able to find Charlie over there. Make sure you stay track on BackChat bets. That'll be coming to you during the week for Blue Bet. Whippersnappers looking after, Cameo's looking after us, all our lads, all the patrons, all the Patrons. We love it. www.backchatpodcast.com.au. You want to get us on Insta, TikTok, Twitter, BackChat, _. You know where to find us, Cole. And if you're on Reddit, which I know you're not, who knows how to get there. We'll see you next week.